Chapter 15:10. I think you must be tired of living. The leader of the group roared angrily and suddenly swung his fist. He was at stage 4 immortal chi realm. His punch seemed to have the power to collapse a mountain. Instantly, a crack appeared in the air. Seeing their big brother attack, the other three stood at the side with playful expressions. It was as if they could see Qin Fan exploding with one punch. Rumble. There was a loud explosion, but it was more violent than what the three of them had imagined. They hurriedly looked over, and their eyeballs fell to the ground in shock. An old man holding an unknown object had appeared out of nowhere and blown their big brother into pieces with one move. The explosion caused by the cannon went on for a long time. The empty space was covered with blood. The leader could no longer be seen. "Don't you want to kill me?" Qin Fan's cold voice was heard, and the three men were startled. The playful expressions on their faces had long disappeared. They looked at Huang Zhong, who was standing beside Qin Fan like a little brother, in disbelief. This person could kill their big brother with one move. It was obvious that he was skilled. Young hero, we don't have that kind of intention. Are you mistaken?" One of the men quickly regained his senses and immediately changed his expression. Qin Fan was amused. He said coldly, "Hand over all your treasures." The three of them did not even have a trace of resistance. One by one, they handed over their cultivation resources. They were originally here to rob Qin Fan, but now, they were robbed by Qin Fan. The three of them had a lot of treasures. Qin Fan plundered thousands of high-grade spirit stones. The grade of their spirit stones was much higher than the spirit stones in the Divine Land. Other than spirit stones, there were also some elixirs and spirit weapons. However, the grade was not high, so Qin Fan was not interested at all. Young hero, can you let us go now?" After handing over their treasures, the three of them looked at Qin Fan nervously. Qin Fan nodded at them. "I can let you die less painfully." Rumble. As soon as he finished speaking, there was an explosion. Under Huang Zhong's cannon, the three men with stage 3 immortal chi realm could not fight back at all. They were directly blown into pieces of flesh and blood. Qin Fan was already sitting cross-legged. Thousands of spirit stones that he had just robbed were scattered around him. He noticed something strange. The spiritual energy in the Divine Honor Land was constantly increasing. "Master, the Divine Supreme Land was formed by the fusion of many planes. These planes have different concentrations of spiritual energy. Now is the period of spiritual energy fluctuation. Eventually, the density of spiritual energy in the whole land of gods will be balanced," Little Pig said. Qin Fan understood. He sensed the abundant spiritual chi around him and glanced at the thousands of spirit stones around him, trying to break through to the next realm. Seconds and minutes ticked by. The spirit stones around Qin Fan disappeared at a rapid speed, all of them absorbed into his body. Waves of turbulent spiritual energy flowed through his meridians and finally gathered in his dantian. Rumble. After an unknown amount of time, a muffled sound came from Qin Fan's body. He slowly got up, and the aura on his body underwent a huge change. "Congratulations on breaking through to the 3rd level of immortal energy, Master," Little Pig said excitedly. Qin Fan sensed his current strength. Although he had only broken through a small realm, the immortal chi in his body was several times thicker. With a casual slap of his palm, a small hill in front of him was blasted into smithereens. After breaking through, Qin Fan realized that the sky was turning bright. He realized that Lin Bei Bei and Han Ying must be worried sick, so he hurried back. "Qin Fan, where did you go? Why did you take so long to come back?" The two women waited for Qin Fan the whole night. Now that he was back, they rushed up to him. Zhang Yan and Bai Lu also came. Both of them had serious expressions. Seeing that Qin Feng was safe, everyone's worried hearts relaxed a little. I'm fine. I'm sorry to make everyone worry. Qin Feng smiled. Zhang Yan looked around and asked nervously, Brother Qin Feng, where are those bastards? I don't know where they went. They probably left. Qin Feng made up a story. He didn't mean to lie to everyone. It was just that the four people were very powerful. If Qin Feng said he killed them, no one would believe him. Left? How is that possible? Those four are obviously perverted devils. I was worried that Brother Qin Feng was killed by them, Zhang Yan complained. I don't know. In any case, I gave them flying swords and they left. Qin Feng's explanation was unclear. Everyone was more or less suspicious. However, seeing that Qin Feng came back safely, nothing else mattered. Brother Qin Feng, let's hurry and go, Zhang Yan suggested. Qin Feng knew that he was worried that the four people would come looking for trouble again. However, only Qin Feng knew that the four people wouldn't appear again. Otherwise, it would be like seeing a ghost. The five people set off with the group again. On the way, Qin Feng took the initiative to chat with Zhang Yan. It was as if nothing happened last night. Later, Qin Feng found out from Zhang Yan that Zhang Yan specifically went to find him last night. However, it was dark and he couldn't find him. After traveling for half a day, everyone arrived at Red Bazaar at noon. Red Bazaar's environment was similar to Fire Beacon City. However, the number of people here was tens of times more than Fire Beacon City. This was like a market that only existed in the old streets of China's secular world. It was the first time Lin Bei and Han Ying came to a place like this. They looked around curiously. However, the two girls were always careful when walking on the street. They already knew that this place was full of experts. They were afraid of bringing unnecessary trouble to Qin Feng. Brother Qin, it's the first time you and your two sisters-in-law have come to a market. Don't look at other people's eyes. This place is full of crooks and honest people. One look and you'll be killed, Zhang Yan reminded the three in a low voice. Lin Bei and Han Ying didn't dare to look around. They lowered their heads and didn't say anything. Qin Feng also knew how powerful the Divine Supreme Continent was. He felt a bit sullen. Whether it was in China's secular world or the Divine Continent, he was a supreme expert. Now, he was just cannon fodder. The group hurried on and didn't encounter any trouble. Not far away, many people gathered. It was very lively. Zhang Yan's eyes lit up. He said excitedly, the sect recruitment place should be up ahead. Let's go and try our luck. On the Divine Supreme Continent, people were divided into sect disciples and rogue cultivators. Rogue cultivators were the lowest existences. They didn't have anyone to rely on. The ranks of sect disciples were also very clear. There were odd job disciples, outer disciples, inner disciples, and core disciples. Sects were also divided. The lowest was a 1-star sect, and the highest was a 5-star sect. A 5-star sect's odd-job disciple might have a higher status than a 1-star sect's core disciple. Qin Feng learned a lot about the sects on the Divine Supreme Continent as he listened to Zhang Yan's introduction. At this time, the five arrived at the Hunyuan sect recruitment area. There were 2 long lines in front of them. They were all rogue cultivators trying to join the sect. Brother Qin, you like the Hunyuan sect? Zhang Yan stood at the back of the crowd and chatted. Yes, the Hunyuan sect is not bad, right? Qin Feng didn't like the Hunyuan sect. He came because he wanted to take the 3 girls away. Zhang Yan nodded and said, of course the Hunyuan sect is not bad. It's a 3-star sect in the northern Sand Continent. They have over 1,000 disciples. The sect leader is a saint king. Normal small sects don't dare to provoke them. Qin Feng's heart became heavy after listening to Zhang Yan's introduction. He wanted to go to Red Street Market and take the three girls away. But looking at the Hunyuan sect's strength, how could they let him leave so easily? Zhang Yan continued, sigh. Although the Hunyuan sect is good, they have strict requirements for their disciples. Only rogue cultivators with at least stage 4 immortal energy are qualified to join the Hunyuan sect. Or, they have to have a special cultivation physique. Zhang Yan had just stepped into stage 3 immortal energy, and his wife, Bai Lu, was only stage 2. The two of them obviously couldn't join the Hunyuan sect. They stood in the line without any hope. Actually, Zhang Yan was secretly advising Qin Feng to change sections. Otherwise, queuing for a day would be a waste of time. Brother Zhang, I insist on joining the Hunyuan sect. Why don't you go to other sects with sister-in-law? Qin Feng understood Zhang Yan's intention. He didn't want to waste their time. Zhang Yan looked at the recruitment area. It was a 2-star sect, Spiritual Mountain. 2-star sects had lower requirements for their disciples. As long as they were rogue cultivators with stage 2 immortal energy, they had a chance to join. Okay, Bai Lu and I will go to the side. Call me if you need anything. Zhang Yan pulled Bai Lu to the side to queue. Qin Feng and the other two continued to wait at the Hunyuan sect side. The three of them waited for 2 hours. The people in front of them finally finished their interviews. There were more than 300 people, but only 3 rogue cultivators were chosen. It was definitely a 1 in 100 chance. Sigh. I'm already at stage 4 immortal energy, but I wasn't chosen. Hunyuan sect's recruitment requirements are so strict. A man who had just been eliminated shook his head and sighed. Many people started discussing. You can't blame the Hunyuan sect for raising their requirements. It's mainly because there were 2 abnormal disciples this year. They were even accepted by the Hunyuan sect's elders. Is it those 2 beautiful fairies? I heard that one of them was born with seductive bones, and the other has a coldine body that only appears once in 100 years. Damn. So the rumor is true. I thought it was an excuse the Hunyuan sect came up with. Qin Feng and the other 2 heard the discussion. They immediately became excited. It seemed that Su Ruoro and the others were really in the Hunyuan sect. At this moment, it was Qin Feng and the other 2's turn to be interviewed. There was a stone table in front of them. An old woman in black sat behind the stone table. There were 7 to 8 disciples standing behind her. Qin Feng saw Su Ruoro and the other 2 with a glance. Report your name, age, realm, cultivation method, attribute, and if you have any special physiques. The old woman in black didn't even look at Qin Feng and said with a cold and arrogant face. Before Qin Feng could speak, 3 screams came from behind her. Ah! Qin Feng, it's really you. The 3 girls jumped out of the crowd excitedly and held Qin Feng's arm, unwilling to let go. Chapter 1511. My God, are those 2 female disciples that the Hunyuan sect has taken a liking to? Rumor has it that they have special constitutions. I didn't expect them to have men. TSK. That man looks so ordinary. I wonder how he managed to get so many beauties. He even has 2 women with him. Women have always relied on men to live on the divine supreme continent. This guy has changed my outlook on life. Is he planning to rely on women to live? The discussion was like a surging tide. Su Ruoro and the other 2 women ignored it and stuck close to Qin Feng. However, the expression of the old woman sitting behind the stone table had already darkened. Everyone knew that she had taken Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian as core disciples the day before yesterday. Now, the two women represented the Hunyuan sect, yet they were hanging out with an ordinary man. It was a slap to her face. Ruo, Ling Xian, who allowed you to wander around? Go back and stand properly. Hun Tianjiao's voice was cold. The two women were put in a difficult position. They stared at Qin Feng, waiting for his decision. Qin Feng had already observed Hun Tianjiao. This old woman gave him an unfathomable sense of mystery. After Hun Tianjiao's scolding, Qin Feng even felt death looming over him. However, he still calmly walked to the stone table and said, "Elder, these three are my wives. I got separated from them a few days ago and finally found them today. I plan to bring them back." Hun Tianjiao emitted a cold aura after learning Qin Feng's intention. Humph. In your dreams. Su Ruoro and Ling Xian are already my core disciples and are now disciples of the Hunyuan sect. In the future, they will cultivate with me and become better. How can they live an ordinary life with you? Qin Feng had already withdrawn his aura. At this moment, he was just an ordinary person who didn't cultivate. Feng Tianjiao didn't care about Qin Feng at all. If it wasn't for the fact that Su Ruoro and the other two women had deep feelings for Qin Feng, she would have killed him already. Su Ruoro and the other two women became nervous when they saw Elder Hun's anger. They had already discovered the power of the Divine Supreme Continent and could tell that Qin Feng was no match for Elder Hun. Elder Hun, I don't want to cultivate. I just want to spend the rest of my life with my husband, Su Ruoro quickly said. Zhao Ling Xian also expressed her stance, please help me and Ruoro, Elder Hun. The stubborn attitude of the two women once again caused the crowd to boil. The men stared at Qin Feng with envy, jealousy, and hatred. Did this brat save the world in his previous life? On the other hand, Hua Xiaozhen was put to one side. She didn't have a special constitution, and although that bastard had accepted her as a disciple, it was only because of Zhao Ling Xian and Su Ruoro. That woman can go with him, but you two can't, Hun Tianjiao looked at Hua Xiaozhen and said. Su Ruoro and Zhao Ling Xian were incredibly worried. At this moment, they wished that they didn't have special constitutions. Otherwise, they wouldn't have attracted so much trouble. Elder Hun, since my two wives are unwilling to stay in your sect, why must you force them? Qin Feng said. At this moment, there were many people surrounding them. These words were obviously a slap in the face. It was as if she was forcing Su Ruoro and Zhao Ling Xian to join the Hunyuan sect. Hun Tianjiao's face turned even colder. Zhang Yan and Bai Lu were also standing in the crowd. When the two of them found out that Qin Feng had two wives with special constitutions, they were both astonished. You better watch your words, brat. Don't cause unnecessary trouble, Hun Tianjiao threatened. Ho, isn't this Elder Hun Tianjiao? Why are you so angry today? What's going on? At this moment, a few elders walked out of the crowd. The crowd immediately opened up a path of golden light. When they walked past them, everyone was so scared that they trembled. Qin Feng heard the crowd's discussion and found out who they were. Quite a few people walked down, but the most important ones were the two elders in the lead. The white-robed elder was the Golden Cauldron Mountain's elder, Gao Xingfeng, and the black-robed elder was the Ancient Tomb sect's elder, Qi Sha. According to what everyone said, the Golden Cauldron Mountain and the Ancient Tomb sect were both three-star sections. The two elders' statuses were about the same as Hun Tianjiao's. Seeing so many elders, Hun Tianjiao's expression was icy. She naturally knew that these people had come for Su Ruoro and Zhao Ling Xian. Gao Xingfeng, what does this have to do with your Golden Cauldron Mountain? Hun Tianjiao said, glaring at the white-robed elder. Gao Xingfeng ignored Hun Tianjiao and chuckled as he walked to Qin Feng's side. Young hero, I'm touched by your unwillingness to part with your wives. I'm the Golden Cauldron Mountain's elder, Gao Xingfeng. I'm willing to take you all into my Golden Cauldron Mountain. What do you think? After Gao Xingfeng expressed his intentions, the crowd exploded. Everyone realized that Qin Feng's luck wasn't too good. Before Qin Feng could speak, the ancient tomb sect's elder, Qi Sha, hurriedly yelled, "Young man, our ancient tomb sect is also willing to take you in. I can see that you haven't cultivated yet, so I can give you a few pointers and focus on nurturing your wives." The crowd had yet to recover from Gao Xingfeng's words, and now they were shocked by Qi Sha's words. Behind these two elders, there were a dozen or so people. They were all elders of various sections. They had also come to take Qin Feng and the others as disciples. However, their sects were much weaker than the Hun Yuan sect, the Golden Cauldron Mountain, and the Ancient Tomb sect. Qin Feng hadn't expected this to happen, but he quickly thought it through. Although these old men looked kind and amiable, at the end of the day, they were only interested in Su Ruoro and Zhao Ling Xian's special constitutions. Now, they were saying all sorts of nice things and were willing to take Qin Feng, Lin Bei, and the others into their sections. However, if they really went back to their sects, who knew what the situation would be like? Geniuses were rare in any era and place, and it was the same in the Divine Supreme Continent. Han Tianjiao was already fuming with anger. She had taken in many batches of disciples, but this was the first time she had seen such a brazen act of stealing disciples. Gao Xingfeng, Qi Sha, what are you two old farts doing? Are you trying to make life difficult for our Hun Yuan sect? Han Tianjiao slammed the table and stood up. The hard bluestone table instantly shattered to the ground. The crowd cried out in shock. However, Gao Xingfeng and Qi Sha looked indifferent and had kind smiles on their faces. Elder Hun, you're wrongly accusing the Golden Cauldron Mountain. I'm not trying to make life difficult for you. It's just that your Hun Yuan sect insisted on breaking up a couple of true lovers. I couldn't stand it anymore, so I had to do this. Han Tianjiao couldn't refute Gao Xingfeng's words. Qi Sha stood to the side and nodded repeatedly. It was obvious that he was on Gao Xingfeng's side for now. Han Tianjiao was furious and shouted coldly, "Who said I wanted to break them up? Our Hun Yuan sect can also take that young man as a disciple. Moreover, Ruoro and Ling Xian are already my core disciples. Do you think you can take them away so easily?" Qi Sha laughed coldly and said, "Ha! Elder Hun, you looked down on that young man just now, and now you suddenly want to take him as a disciple. It's obvious that you have no other choice." Gao Xingfeng looked at Qin Feng and said, "Young hero, you have to think carefully. If you really go to the Hun Yuan sect, then Elder Hun will arrange a part-time disciple for you. When that time comes, you won't even be able to see your two wives." Han Tianjiao was almost angered to death by Gao Xingfeng and Qi Sha. After all, she was a woman, and she couldn't quarrel with two old men on the street. For a moment, everyone's eyes were focused on Qin Feng. No one thought that this person, who had been ignored by everyone, would become so important. Qin Feng thought quickly and had already made a decision. He realized that it was impossible to take the three women away today. Even if the Hun Yuan sect let them go, countless other sects were watching them in the dark. Thank you Elder Gao and Elder Qi for your good intentions. Since my two beloved wives agreed to join the Hun Yuan sect a few days ago, then I'll go along with their wishes." Qin Feng smiled. The crowd exclaimed. No one thought that Qin Feng would choose the Hun Yuan sect in the end. They thought Qin Feng would never choose the Hun Yuan sect. Even Han Tianjiao was stunned, but Gao Xingfeng and Qi Sha quickly came back to their senses. The two of them looked at Qin Feng meaningfully. They suddenly realized that they had underestimated this brat. Qin Feng's choice could be said to be the best one. This way, he wouldn't offend anyone. Young hero, don't you want to reconsider? Gao Xingfeng was still a bit unwilling. Qin Feng smiled and said, there's no need to reconsider. This is the basic principle of being a person. How can I casually change my promise to someone else? I believe that if I really join the Golden Cauldron Mountain, Elder Gao will also think that there's something wrong with my character. Qin Feng's words were very clever. Even a crafty old man like Gao Xingfeng couldn't refute him. Seeing that there was no chance for them to poach Qin Feng, Gao Xingfeng, and Qi Sha shook their heads and sighed as they left. The crowd that was watching the show gradually dispersed. Only Qin Feng, Han Tianzhao, and the others were left around the Han Yuan sect. The shock in Han Tianzhao's eyes had not completely disappeared. She looked at Qin Feng again and her expression became complicated. You're smart. Since you want to join the Han Yuan sect, then I'll reluctantly give you a chance. Han Tianzhao was still unwilling to lower her head in front of Qin Feng. Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian were very unhappy. They almost jumped out and said that they shouldn't join the Han Yuan sect. However, when they thought of the consequences, they could only hold back their anger for now. Originally, the disciple recruitment would take a month. Now, only half a month had passed. However, Han Tianzhao was afraid that there would be trouble along the way. She planned to take Qin Feng and the others back to the sect now. Qin Feng suggested that he stay with the women for a while before leaving. Han Tianzhao didn't stop him. Brother Qin, you're so lucky to have so many beautiful sisters-in-law. 2 of them even have special constitutions. Qin Feng called Zhang Yan and Bai Lu over and prepared to say goodbye to them. Brother Zhang, I'm going to the Han Yuan sect with my wives, Qin Feng said. Ha! That's good, brother. That's right, Bai Lu and I have been accepted as disciples by the spiritual mountain. Although we're only outer disciples, we'll become inner disciples soon. Zhang Yan's face was full of joy. Chapter 15:12. Congratulations, Qin Feng said. Qin Fen said, I don't know when we'll meet again after this. If Brother Zhang isn't happy in the spiritual mountain, you can go to the spiritual immortal sect and report my name. I'll go there soon. Zhang Yan didn't quite understand what Qin Feng was saying. In his opinion, Qin Feng wasn't as powerful as him. He didn't think he could rely on Qin Feng to solve any problems. Plus, Zhang Yan had been in the northern sand continent for so long and had never heard of Celestial Souls sect. He believed that it wasn't a big sect. Alright, if I get the chance, I'll definitely go to Celestial Souls sect to find Brother Qin. Zhang Yan had only said this casually, but he would never have thought that in the near future, Celestial Souls sect would shock the entire northern sand continent. Zhang Yan and his wife left. They were the first 2 friends Qin Feng had made in the Divine Supreme Continent. After they left, the women started talking about business. Qin Feng, are we really going to Hunyuan sect? Su Ruoro obviously didn't want to go there. Zhao Lingxian suddenly said, why don't we run now? Qin Feng immediately interrupted her, running is impossible. That genius's power is unfathomable. She can probably kill me with one slap. I'm afraid we won't be able to run far before she catches us. The women already knew that people from the Divine Supreme Continent were powerful, but they were still shocked by Qin Feng's words. Qin Feng was at the pinnacle of martial arts in China's secular world and the Divine Supreme Continent, but he was just cannon fodder here. After knowing how powerful that genius was, the women didn't want to run anymore. They didn't want to see Qin Feng killed. Don't worry, everyone. We have no enmity with that genius, so she won't kill us. However, she clearly had no choice but to take me, Bei Bei, and the others as disciples. I'm worried that she'll treat us differently if we go to Hunyuan sect. Qin Feng continued. Zhao Lingxian was immediately unhappy. What's wrong with that old woman's eyes? How dare she look down on you? If she really treats us differently, I'll leave Hunyuan sect. Qin Feng patted Zhao Lingxian's head and comforted her, don't be angry. If we really go to Hunyuan sect, it won't be easy to leave. However, with Hunyuan sect as our backing, we'll be safer for now. At that time, no matter what chaotic prodigy does, all of you just have to stay in the sect and cultivate. I'll break through as soon as possible, and it won't be long before I can take everyone away. Qin Fen met with the women alone to plan for the future. Although the girls were very dissatisfied with Hun Tianjiao, they could only listen to Qin Feng's arrangements. After about 10 minutes, they walked back. Chaotic Sky Pride was getting a little impatient. He thought that Qin Fen had escaped with the others, but now that they had returned, he calmed down. Can we go now? Hun Tianjiao looked at Qin Feng coldly. Let's go. Qin Feng nodded. The party set off in a grandiose manner. Many people looked at Qin Feng with envy and jealousy as he left. After walking for an entire day and night, he finally arrived at the Hunyuan sect. It was surrounded by mountains and the Hunyuan sect was built on a plain in the middle of these mountains. As a 3-star sect in the northern Sand region, the Primordial Chaos sect's construction was quite spectacular. Looking down from the mountainside, one could see a stretch of buildings. There were also herb gardens and training grounds, making it look like a small city. Chosen Elder. As soon as they arrived at the entrance of the sect, the dozen or so guards at the gate all greeted Hun Tianjiao. Hun Tianjiao was full of arrogance and strode in without even looking at the disciples. When they arrived at the Primordial Chaos sect, the women looked around curiously. When they reached the depths of the sect, Hun Tianjiao suddenly stopped and looked at Qin Feng indifferently. Further in is the inner area of the Primordial Chaos sect. Only inner and core disciples can enter, although I kindly accepted you into the Primordial Chaos sect, considering that your spiritual roots are too weak, you can only be the odd job disciples of the sect. If you have no objections, I'll arrange for you to stay. If you don't want to stay, you can leave at any time. Just as Qin Feng had guessed, Hun Tianjiao became hostile as soon as they arrived at the sect. Zhao Lingxian and Su Ruoro's expressions were frosty. Before they could resist, Qin Feng had already said, I have no objections, but Lingxian and Su Ruoro will be heavily nurtured, right? Hun Tianjiao's expression changed. She hadn't expected Qin Feng to agree so readily. Don't worry, Su Ruoro and Lingxian are my disciples. I've already accepted them as core disciples and will naturally focus on nurturing them. Qin Feng nodded, okay, then we'll all stay. Although she didn't understand what Qin Feng was thinking, Hun Tianjiao couldn't be bothered to think too much about it. To her, Qin Feng was a tiny ant that wasn't even worth mentioning. If it wasn't for Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian, Hun Tianjiao probably wouldn't even bother talking to him. Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian reluctantly followed Hun Tianjiao into the inner area of the sect, while Qin Feng, Lin Bei, and Zhao Lingxian stayed in the outer area. Soon, 2 disciples came to receive them. Let me introduce myself. I'm an outer disciple, Hun Fei. You can call me Big Brother Fei. This is my little brother, Hun Li. Seeing that you're all new here, don't blame Big Brother Fei for not warning you. You have to be diligent and obedient here. The man called Hun Fei talked non-stop, and his gaze drifted back and forth between Lin Bei and Zhao Lingxian. The 3 women were a bit unhappy being stared at, and they subconsciously moved closer to Qin Feng. Take us to where we're staying, Qin Feng said calmly. Hun Fei and Hun Li froze. They'd received many new people, but this was the first time they'd seen someone as cold and arrogant as Qin Feng. Moreover, according to Elder Hun Tianjiao's arrangements, Qin Feng and the others were only odd job disciples. Yo! You're quite arrogant, aren't you? I've seen many arrogant brats like you, but in the end, you still obediently call me Big Brother Fei and obediently stay in the Hun Yuan sect, Hun Fei threatened. However, Qin Feng acted as if he didn't hear him. You have a suite here, right? I want to live with my 3 wives. Hun Fei and Hun Li froze again. They even suspected that there was something wrong with Qin Feng's head. You stinking brat, in your dreams. You're just a mere odd job disciple. Do you think you're here on vacation? Han Li coldly stared at Qin Feng. It's fine if you don't have a suite, but I still want to live in the same room with my 3 wives, Qin Feng said to himself. Han Fei and Han Li found it difficult to communicate with Qin Feng, and Han Li prepared to fight. However, Han Fei stopped him and said to Qin Feng, "Humph. Let's see how long you can be arrogant. Follow me." The 2 of them took Qin Feng and the others to the residential area of the odd job disciples. The environment here was very ordinary. The room was only about 30 square meters, and there was a simple wooden bed and a wooden table. There were no other large items. After sending the 4 of them there, Han Fei and Han Li left. However, as soon as they walked out of the room, the 2 of them whispered to each other. Big Brother Fei, that brat called Qin Feng is too arrogant. He didn't give you any face at all. Are we going to let him go just like that? Han Li looked fierce. Han Fei smiled playfully and said, "Humph. That brat has already joined the Hun Yuan sect. There will be plenty of opportunities to deal with him in the future. Today is their first day joining the sect. It won't be good if they cause trouble." Han Li originally thought that Big Brother Fei was going to let it go. Now that he understood what Big Brother Fei was thinking, Han Li also revealed a smirk and said, "By the way, Big Brother Fei, that brat's 3 women are really beautiful." Big Brother Fei doesn't plan to. Han Li didn't finish his words, but everyone could see the wretched look on his face. Han Fei smiled even more wretchedly than him. Don't you know Big Brother Fei's hobbies? Just wait and see. Big Brother Fei will make that brat's 3 women obediently climb into my bed. The 2 of them laughed and left. In a simple and crude small room, Qin Feng hugged the 3 women and sat on a wooden bed. The 3 women looked at the empty surroundings and felt somewhat disappointed. They used to live in a mansion in Hero City. This change happened too quickly. Qin Feng, what should we do next? Even the business queen, Han Ying, had no idea. She was completely unfamiliar with the divine supreme continent. Lin Bei and Hua Xiaojun also looked at Qin Feng in a daze. Right now, Qin Feng was their only hope. Everyone, don't worry. Actually, the current situation is within my expectations. At the end of the day, if Gentle Spirit Immortal goes to the inner sect, she will obtain very good cultivation resources. This is actually a good thing. The 3 of you should also start cultivating faster. In this divine supreme continent, martial arts are respected. Everything depends on one's fists. Whatever Qin Feng said, the 3 women nodded repeatedly. They now completely listened to Qin Feng. Very quickly, everyone accepted their current situation. Han Ying and the other 2 girls were filled with fighting spirit. There was only one thought left in their minds, and that was to train like crazy. Only then would they not be a burden to Qin Feng, and they could even help Qin Feng. The 4 of them sat around the small wooden bed. Qin Feng took out many spirit stones and medicinal pills to help the 3 women break through. Lin Bei and Han Ying were both at stage 6 inner qi, while Hua Xiaojun was at stage 3. However, now that they were in the divine supreme continent, the dense spiritual energy here could nurture the existence of immortal qi realm. After a night of cultivation with Qin Feng's help, the 3 women all stepped into the first stage of immortal qi realm. Outside, the sun rose. The three women slowly opened their eyes and felt a huge change in their bodies. However, at this moment, the door was kicked open. Are you stupid pigs? It's already so bright and you're still sleeping? Hurry up and come out to work. Hanli stood at the door with a fierce expression. His eyes quickly glanced at the bed. He thought he would see the beautiful view of the three women naked, but he was slightly disappointed. The three women's hearts burned with anger, but when they thought of their current situation, they could only suppress it. Qin Fang's eyes were cold. When he looked at Hanli, it was as if he was looking at a dead man. You go out first. We'll come out soon, Qin Feng said indifferently. Chapter 15:13. The four calmed themselves down and went outside. At this moment, there were many men and women standing in the open space. They were all servant disciples of Hunyuan's sect. Hanli and Han Fei were standing in front of the crowd. As an outer disciple, Han Fei had a higher status than everyone else. His job was to manage the daily lives of the servant disciples. As for Hanli, he was Han Fei's dog. Usually, he relied on Han Fei and became a big brother among the servant disciples. Seeing Qin Feng, Han Fei said arrogantly, late on the first day of joining Hunyuan's sect. You really don't know the rules. The three girls knew that Han Fei was purposely looking for trouble with Qin Feng. They wanted to help Qin Feng but were secretly stopped by Qin Feng. In Qin Fang's eyes, Han Fei and Hanli were just ants. Qin Feng couldn't be bothered with them. Han Fei wanted to provoke Qin Feng and then reprimand him in front of everyone. However, Qin Feng didn't react at all. This made him feel helpless. Han Fei glared at Qin Feng and then said to everyone, I'll arrange today's tasks. The male disciples will follow Hanli to Heaven Fox Mountain to collect spirit herbs. The female disciples will stay and clean the sect. After Han Fei gave the order, the crowd dispersed and went to work. Lin Bei Bei and the other two girls looked at Qin Feng reluctantly but still went to clean with the other female disciples. Now that everyone was in a dangerous situation, they had to keep a low profile in Hunyuan's sect. As soon as the three girls left, Hanli came to Qin Feng and said playfully, What are you standing there for? Hurry up and follow me to Heaven Fox Mountain. Qin Feng felt that Hanli's smile was a bit strange but didn't think too much about it. He left with the other male disciples. Not long after everyone left, Han Fei had an evil smile on his face and swaggered over to Lin Bei Bei and the other two girls. What do you want? The three girls didn't have a good impression of Han Fei. Seeing him walk over with a smile, they immediately became vigilant. Han Fei scanned the three girls' voluptuous bodies and laughed, Ha! Don't be nervous, I won't eat you guys. I'll give you specific tasks. Follow me to the horse pen to shovel horse manure. The three girls raised their eyebrows. When did they do that? Han Ying realized that Han Fei was purposefully messing with them, so she stood up and said, Why are the three of us going to clean the horse manure? Han Fei said carelessly, Why not you guys? You are new here, so of course you have to start from the hardest and most tiring work. Halfway through his sentence, Han Fei suddenly changed the topic. What? Why do you look so reluctant? If you really don't want to clean the horse manure, that's fine too. You can go to my room and clean it up for me. As Han Fei spoke, he lustfully stared at the three women's bodies. Today, he wanted Hanli to take Qin Feng away so that he could take liberties with the three women. No matter how stupid the three women were, they could still understand Huan Fei's intentions. Their faces immediately turned frosty with anger. We already have a man. I'd advise you to stop dreaming, Han Ying refused without hesitation. The smile on Han Fei's face disappeared. He felt very embarrassed after being rejected. Humph. I wonder what the three of you are thinking. What's so good about that Qin brat? He's just an odd job disciple and has the same status as a slave. Why don't you follow me and I promise to treat you well in the future? Lin Bei was so disgusted that she was about to vomit. Hua Xiaozhen clenched her small fists in anger. In the end, it was Han Ying who spoke for the three women. Don't talk nonsense. We won't betray Qin Feng even if we die. Seeing the three women's unyielding attitudes, Han Fei's expression turned completely cold. Ha! Let's see how long you can hold on. You don't want to clean your elder's room. All right, then go and clean the horse manure. Han Ying said coldly, fine, I won't submit to you even if I have to clean horse manure. After the three women finished speaking, they turned and walked towards the horse pen. Han Fei was so angry that he gnashed his teeth. After walking for a whole day, Qin Feng and the others arrived at the foot of Celestial Fox Mountain. This was a vast mountain range. There were many spirit herbs and spirit plants growing on the plains. Everyone's mission here was to gather spirit herbs for the inner sect disciples to cultivate with. There were more than 30 male disciples following them. Han Li walked at the front like a big brother. He stopped on a flat ground and yelled, this time, we're going to gather spirit herbs at Celestial Fox Mountain for 3 days. Everyone has to gather at least 10 baskets of spirit herbs. If anyone is lazy and doesn't meet the standard, they won't be able to eat for 3 days after returning. The group of odd job disciples were clearly used to being suppressed. They didn't object to anything Han Li said. Qin Feng didn't care about this mission. However, when he heard that they had to stay at Celestial Fox Mountain for 3 days, he was more or less worried about Lin Bei and the other 2 women. The group of odd job disciples had already spread out to gather spirit herbs. Han Li smiled evilly and came to Qin Feng's side. Qin brat, you're new here. Your mission is a bit more important. You have to gather 30 baskets of spirit herbs. Otherwise, you won't be allowed to return to the sect. Qin Feng knew that Han Li was looking for trouble. This person was only at the 3rd level of immortal qi. Qin Feng was completely confident that he could kill him. However, there were too many disciples watching nearby. It wasn't convenient for Qin Feng to make a move. Qin Feng didn't say anything about Han Li's harsh requirements. He already joined the group of people who were gathering spirit herbs. Han Li felt bored and didn't specifically look for trouble with Han Li. Little brother, did you offend Han Fei and Han Li? A small voice suddenly sounded in his ear. The other party was clearly speaking in a low voice. Qin Feng looked over. There was a 25 or 26-year-old man squatting in the bushes beside him. He was looking at him carefully. I didn't offend them. They were the ones who looked for trouble for no reason, Qin Feng said indifferently. I'm Zhou Tian. I'm also a Han Yuan sect odd job disciple. I advise you not to provoke those 2 scoundrels. Qin Feng had a good impression of him. I'm Qin Feng. Oh right, let me ask you something. Do you usually come to Celestial Fox Mountain to gather spirit herbs for 3 days? Zhou Tian immediately complained. What do you mean by 3 days? Usually, we'll be done in 1 day. I don't know what's wrong with Han Li today. He actually wants to stay on this barren mountain for 3 days and 3 nights. Qin Feng's expression became solemn. The reason why he asked this was because he suspected that Han Fei and Han Li were secretly playing tricks. Now, it seemed that Lin Bei and the other 2 girls were very likely to be in danger. Qin Feng didn't have the mood to gather spirit herbs here. He was about to rush back to the sect when he saw Han Li walking over. Qin, come with me to the top of the mountain to pick star grass. Why did you ask me to go? I don't want to pick it anymore. I want to go back to the sect now, Qin Feng said coldly. How could Han Li let Qin Feng go back? He had already discussed with Hun Fei. They would trap Qin Feng in Celestial Fox Mountain for 3 days so that Hun Fei could take his 3 women. You think you can go back just because you said so? What do you think the Hun Yuan sect is? Don't you know who you are? Listen to what I tell you to do. Otherwise, I'll ask Brother Fei to report to the elders and kick you out of the sect. Han Li scolded fiercely. Qin Feng's stomach burned with anger. He almost killed this guy with a slap. However, thinking that there were many odd job disciples around, Qin Feng finally endured it. Okay, I'll go with you to the top of the mountain. Qin Feng suddenly found an opportunity. Han Li didn't know and thought that Qin Feng was scared by his words. He immediately put on an arrogant expression. Humph. At least you know what's good for you. Listen to your elders' orders in the future. Otherwise, I'll teach you a lesson. Qin Feng didn't care about Han Li's words. He thought that this brat was going to die soon, so he would let him show off for a while. The 2 of them went all the way to the top of Celestial Fox Mountain. The surrounding temperature plummeted and the weather seemed to have changed. The mountain was covered in white snow that didn't melt all year round. Han Li was wearing a thin robe and shivered as he walked on the road. Ha! Aren't you cold? Han Li looked at Qin Feng in surprise. Qin Feng wore even less than Han Li, but he had an indifferent expression. What's there to be cold about? Is your body weak? Qin Feng subdued the 1,000-year ice crystal and suffocated. It would be strange if he felt cold. Han Li's face darkened. He suddenly pointed to the top of the mountain in front of him and said, I'll rest here for a while. You go up and pick the Star Junction grass. If you don't pick it, I'll teach you a lesson. Qin Feng didn't know that where the Star Junction grass appeared, fierce beasts would appear. Han Li called him to the top of the mountain to pick the Star Junction grass because he wanted the fierce beasts to bite him to death. However, Qin Feng seemed to have changed into a different person. He stood motionlessly at the top of the mountain. Fuck! Are you deaf, brat? Your elder told you to go to the top of the mountain. Why aren't you going? Han Li cursed angrily. I still have something important to do. I can't go to the top of the mountain for now. Qin Feng said seriously. Han Li was stunned and asked subconsciously, what is it? Qin Feng's voice was colder than ice and snow. To kill you. Han Li jumped up and the veins on his forehead bulged. Your grandpa. You want to kill your elder. Originally, your elder was prepared to trick you into going up the mountain to be bitten to death by fierce beasts. Now, it seems that it's easier to kill you with my own hands. Han Li was really angry. He couldn't be bothered to put on an act in front of Qin Feng. He suddenly punched at Qin Feng and revealed the power of a Stage 3 immortal. Rumble. The sound of wind came from the snowy mountain. Qin Feng easily dodged Han Li's attack. A crack appeared on the ground where he was standing. Many rocks and snowflakes flew into the sky. Han Li was stunned. He stared and shouted, Brat, you were hiding your strength. But even so, you will still die. Just as Han Li shouted, the second punch came. This time, the pure white snow on the top of the mountain was blown up by the strong wind. Han Li hid in the wind and snow and couldn't be seen clearly. However, a purple flame suddenly exploded. The wind and snow melted when it came into contact with the immortal fire. Rumble. The sound of an explosion came from the wind and snow. Han Li's figure had just appeared when it was blown into pieces by the purple cloud immortal fire. Even at the moment of his death, he couldn't accept the fact that Qin Feng, whom he had treated as an ant, was able to instantly kill him. Readers, you can search for Blue Book Bar, and you'll be able to find this site immediately. Chapter 15-14. The commotion at the peak of the celestial fox mountain attracted the attention of the odd job disciples who were picking herbs at the foot of the mountain. However, no one thought that it was caused by the battle between Qin Feng and Hun Li. They thought it was an avalanche or the appearance of a fierce beast. After killing Hun Li, Qin Feng prepared to rush back to the Hunyuan sect. He already realized that Hun Fei was going to attack Lin Bei Bei and the other two. Roar roar. Qin Feng had only run a few steps when a wild roar came from behind him. The moment he turned around, his expression changed drastically. A huge beast had appeared behind him out of nowhere. The huge beast was snow-white and seemed to merge with the snowy mountain. It stood on two legs and waved its two front paws in the air. It looked like a snow fox, but its size was comparable to the two-headed werewolf king. Not good, master, this is the rank 4 spirit beast, White Fox King. I'm afraid this mountain is its territory. It already sees master as an intruder. Little Pig shouted anxiously. Qin Feng already realized how powerful this White Fox King was. Just standing in front of it, Qin Feng felt an intense pressure and a sense of death. Now that the formation passage to the Immortal Island was sealed, Qin Feng couldn't release the giant winged fire devil and the other beasts he subdued to fight. Roar roar. The White Fox King roared angrily again. It felt like the entire mountain was shaking. Its gigantic figure suddenly moved forward, and with a stomp, the ground where Qin Feng had been standing was instantly crushed. Qin Feng stepped on his flying sword and flew into the air. He still felt some lingering fear. If he had been a moment later, he would have been flattened by the White Fox King. Little Pig, what realm is this White Fox King at? I feel like I'm no match for it at all, Qin Feng complained. Actually, Qin Feng wasn't unfamiliar with spirit beasts. He had fused with a few spirit beasts himself. However, rank 4 spirit beasts were at most rank 7 in the Divine Continent. The White Fox King in front of him was clearly different. Little Pig quickly explained, Master, the same spirit beast in different realms will have different strengths. This is equivalent to the different realms of cultivators in different realms. As for this rank 4 White Fox King, it's also at rank 5 immortal energy. Qin Feng was speechless. He had just stepped into stage 3 immortal Qi, so there was no way he could fight the White Fox King. Just as Qin Feng was about to leave on his flying sword, Little Pig continued to speak, Master, the White Fox King has been ranked as one of the 10 great savage beasts by the system. Also, we discovered the existence of Star Junction grass nearby. That's the best material for breaking through to the 4th stage of immortal energy. Qin Feng, who had just flown halfway, turned back. He had no choice but to bite the bullet and subdue the White Fox King. At this moment, the White Fox King was standing at the top of the snowy mountain and roaring angrily at the sky. It couldn't fly, so it was anxious to see Qin Feng floating around in the sky. Roar! Every roar of the White Fox King was like muffled thunder, and the white snow on the ground flew into the sky. Qin Feng did not land. With a thought, the troll cannon Huang Zhong and Osla suddenly appeared. The moment Huang Zhong landed, he raised his hand and fired a cannon. The fireball hit the White Fox King's chest, causing it to retreat 3 steps before stabilizing its body. Roar! The cannon didn't hurt the White Fox King. At least, there were no wounds on its snow-white fur. However, the White Fox King was completely enraged. Its originally upright body suddenly fell to the ground, and like an agile cheetah, it charged at Huang Zhong. Rumble! This collision was like a speeding train, and Huang Zhong's expression instantly changed. However, at the crucial moment, Osla's huge body landed and blocked the White Fox King's fierce attack. Loud noises sounded everywhere, and the entire mountain shook violently. The mountain peak was like an avalanche. The white snow fell from the top of the mountain, and it was a spectacular sight. "Oh no, an avalanche is happening on the Celestial Fox Mountain." The odd-job disciples who were picking herbs at the top of the mountain were dumbfounded. Some of them had already thrown down their baskets and started to run for their lives. Hunli and the new disciple are still on the mountain. Should we go and save them? A disciple asked. Hunli is usually arrogant. It's good that he's dead. Why do you want to save him? On the other hand, the new disciple is unlucky. His young life was wasted just like that. Everyone had long been dissatisfied with Hunli. Now, no one was willing to go up the mountain to save him. Seeing the increasingly violent avalanche, the rest of the disciples also started to run. They didn't have the guts to go up the mountain to save Qin Feng. They could only say that the brat was unlucky. Rumble. Loud noises sounded continuously from the top of the Celestial Fox Mountain. This avalanche was caused by the battle between Osla and the White Fox King. Qin Feng had seen Osla's strength before. Back then, it had whipped the stage 3 immortal disciple of the 8 trigrams mountain into two with a flick of its tail. However, now that it was engaged in a fierce battle with the White Fox King, Osla gradually fell into a disadvantage. Huang Zhong watched anxiously and had already fired cannons to help Osla. Both of them were on the level of a stage 4 immortal, but they could only temporarily block the White Fox King's ferocious attacks. Master, quickly try to subdue the White Fox King. This way, you can at least distract it, Little Pig shouted anxiously when he saw that Huang Zhong and Osla were at a disadvantage. Qin Feng didn't dare to relax. He stood on his flying sword and hovered in the air. A strange wave of energy rippled around him, and he quickly captured the White Fox King's thoughts. Roar, roar. When the two's telekinesis touched, the White Fox King roared as if it had gone mad. It stood on its hind legs again and clawed at the air with its front paws. Every time it waved its paws, it brought about a violent gust of wind. When it hit Osla, there was a loud noise. Qin Feng raised his eyebrows. He realized that the White Fox King was not only powerful, but its telekinesis was also much stronger than the ferocious beasts of the Divine Land. It was like a deep ocean. Qin Feng tried to explore it a few times, but he was blocked outside. Roar, roar. The White Fox King became more and more agitated. This meant that Qin Feng's telekinesis interference was somewhat effective. Osla and Huang Zhong didn't want to fight it head-on anymore. The two of them cooperated well. One fired from a distance while the other controlled its movement. Arrow, come. Up in the sky, Qin Feng roared. The cloud-piercing arrow fell from the sky and landed in Qin Feng's hand in an instant. Qin Feng pulled the heavenly eagle bow. When he let go, a pure white holy light fell to the ground like a meteor and landed on the White Fox King's body. Rumble. The arrow fell and the White Fox King's huge body swayed a few times. Qin Feng roared again and in a breath's time, the second arrow fell. Rumble. There was another explosion. The cloud-piercing arrow was so fast that the White Fox King couldn't dodge at all. Under the combination of cannons, flying arrows, and Osla's fierce attacks, the White Fox King's aura gradually weakened. Its telekinesis was also weakened. Finally, Qin Feng broke through its defense. This was Qin Feng's 5th attempt to subdue a ferocious beast. The process was simple and smooth. 20 minutes later, the peak of the Heavenly Fox Mountain became quiet. The White Fox King's earth-shattering roar was no longer there. Ding! Congratulations, host Qin Feng, for successfully subduing the White Fox King. The system rewards host Qin Feng 100,000 hedonist points and 1-star beast interface lottery scroll. The system's notification sounded, signifying that Qin Feng had completely subdued the White Fox King. At this moment, the White Fox King's expression completely changed. It went from being fierce and ferocious to being naturally adorable. "Master, look at the Star Beast Interface Lottery Scroll." Little Pig shouted excitedly. Qin Feng hurriedly entered the system. He had just become a rank 8 hedonist mortal not long ago, so he was able to access the Star Beast interface for free. Qin Feng knew very well how powerful the Star Beast interface was. Oslo was a product of it. However, Oslo was only an ordinary rank 1 Star Beast. Qin Feng couldn't imagine how ferocious a rank 9 Star Beast was. "Little Pig, what level of Star Beast can I get from this lottery scroll?" Qin Feng asked. "This is a random lottery scroll. You can draw any Star Beast from the Star Beast interface. The level depends on Master's luck," Little Pig said excitedly. This time, even Qin Feng was excited. With a thought, the vast sea of stars in the Star Beast interface started to spin. It was as mysterious as the stars in Van Gogh's brush. Rumble. A muffled sound exploded in the sky. One of the stars shot out and landed at Qin Feng's feet. However, Qin Feng looked left and right for a while. "Ha! Where's the super beast I drew? Did the system trick me again?" Little Pig grumbled. "Master, when has the system ever cheated you? Isn't the beast you drew right under your feet?" Qin Feng was so scared that he took 2 steps back. After squatting down, he finally found a small earthworm lying on the ground. It couldn't be called a small earthworm. Although it was the same size as an earthworm, it was shaped like a dinosaur. Instantly, Qin Feng's face darkened like the bottom of a pot. "Fuck! You call this not a trick? Is this the super giant beast that I drew?" Little Pig said happily. "Master, you're ignorant. This is a rank 9 Star Beast, the Destroyer Hunting Pincer. Its strength is beyond Master's imagination." Qin Feng rolled his eyes. "Damn you, Pig. I can crush this thing with 1 foot. Don't insult my intelligence like this." At this moment, Qin Feng was very angry. This little guy actually dared to call himself a rank 9 Star Beast from the Star Beast realm. Was this a joke? Little Pig said seriously. "Master, Little Pig never jokes. This really is a rank 9 astral beast of the astral beast realm. It's in its initial state, equivalent to a human infant. However, the hunting pincer's skill is devour. It can devour everything in the world. It grows very quickly. When it's an infant, it'll be the size of Oslo." Qin Feng realized Little Pig didn't seem to be joking. He looked at the little earthworm rolling on the ground again. "No, it's the Destroyer Hunting Pincer, roar." Suddenly, the hunting pincer cried out, but it was a loud sound like a beating drum, giving Qin Feng a fright. "Master, the hunting pincer is hungry. Feed it something to eat," Little Pig said. Qin Feng thought about it and took out 10 spirit stones. However, after looking at the size of the spirit stones and the hunting pincer's size, Qin Feng put away the 9 spirit stones. "Can it eat this thing?" Qin Feng asked. Friends who want to read books, you can search for Blue Book Bar, and you will be able to find this site immediately. Chapter 15:15. Of course, the hunting turtles are omnivores. They eat everything, Little Pig said. Qin Feng threw the fist-sized spirit stone next to Liao. He was a little worried that this little guy would choke to death because of a spirit stone. However, just as Qin Feng had this thought, the hunting turtles pounced on the spirit stone like a hungry wolf. Quangzi quangzi. Qin Feng didn't know what that sound was, but his expression changed drastically. He realized that the hunting turtles had finished eating the spirit stone in the blink of an eye. At this time, the hunting turtles was sitting on Qin Feng's shoes, looking up at him with a cute face. This time, Qin Feng could tell that this guy was not full at all without Little Pig's translation. The little guy has a big appetite. As Qin Feng sighed, he threw another 9 spirit stones next to his feet. It wasn't that Qin Feng was stingy, but he was afraid that if he gave too much, the little guy would be stuffed to death. This was a level 9 star beast. It would be a joke if it died from overeating. Quangxi quangxi. That strange sound rang out again, like the sound of teeth grinding, but also like the strange sound of stone being gnawed. When Qin Feng looked down, he was so shocked that he jumped high into the air. Holy shit! What the hell is this little guy? Where did it get so many spirit stones? The 9 spirit stones on the ground disappeared instantly. Qin Feng even suspected that he had never thrown them out. Little Pig said happily, "Master, the hunting turtles are level 9 star beasts in the star beast realm. Its devouring ability is unimaginable." Now, Qin Feng finally started to take the hunting turtles seriously. With this glutton's devouring speed, it wouldn't take long for it to grow to the size of Osla. For the next half an hour, Qin Feng was a little crazy. He took out thousands of spirit stones in succession, and they were all eaten by the hunting turtles. However, the hunting turtles still looked like they were not full at all. They kept acting cute at Qin Feng. Qin Feng had no time to feed it. He simply threw the nearly 100,000 spirit stones he collected in the divine land into the system and let the hunting turtles eat as they pleased. With a thought, Qin Feng had already left the system. The White Fox King was squatting beside him, like an obedient and loyal dog protecting its owner. Qin Feng couldn't help but stroke its snow-white fur. He thought to himself, now that the Immortal Island is sealed, and the Emerald Spirit Ring can't store living creatures, how am I going to take this White Fox King away? Soon, Little Pig's voice sounded in his mind, "Master, you can buy a star ring." Not only can a star ring store inanimate objects, but it can also store living creatures. Qin Feng looked at the system's inventory and quickly found the star ring. According to the system's introduction, this was a storage ring made of special alien meteorite material. Not only could it store inanimate objects, but it could also store living things. There were a few different prices for star rings, and the prices varied greatly depending on the size of the storage space. Qin Feng chose a star ring worth 50,000 hedonist points, which could store a space the size of a city. Whoosh! With a thought, the huge White Fox King disappeared from the top of the mountain and entered the star ring. After taking care of these matters, Qin Feng prepared to go back. However, Little Pig suddenly said, "Master, there's star march grass nearby. It won't be too late to go back after we finish picking it." Qin Feng had almost forgotten about this matter. He used the Emerald Spirit Ring sensing ability and quickly found the star march grass. It was a strand of strange-looking spiritual herb that grew on the precipitous cliff at the top of the Celestial Fox Mountain. Moreover, the star march grass was hidden in the pure white snow, so it was very difficult for ordinary people to discover its existence. Qin Feng dug out the star march grass and the soil it grew in. These spiritual herbs grew by relying on spiritual roots. If they were separated from the soil for too long, the spiritual qi in them would quickly dissipate. After obtaining the star march grass, Qin Feng sat cross-legged at the top of the snowy mountain and began to refine pills on the spot. The star march grass was the main ingredient of the star march pill. The process of refining the star march pill was not difficult. With Qin Feng's current alchemy skills, he quickly refined a cauldron of 8 star march pills. The 8 fiery red pills rippled in Qin Feng's hand and emitted a strong pill fragrance. However, Qin Feng had some doubts. The Star March pill was the main pill for breaking through to stage 4 immortal qi, but the process of refining it was easier than the immortal cloud pill. The Immortal Cloud pill was only a pill for breaking through to stage 1 immortal chi, so its effects were obviously inferior to the Star March pill. Master, this is because your environment is different, Little Pig explained patiently. Little Pig patiently explained, the Immortal Cloud grass appeared on the Immortal Island. It is considered one of the spiritual herbs on the Immortal Island. However, on the Divine Supreme Continent, where the spiritual chi is abundant, the Immortal Cloud grass is just an ordinary weed. Precisely because the Divine Supreme Continent's spiritual chi is rich, the spiritual herbs here are stronger. That's why it's much easier to refine pills. To put it simply, the Immortal Cloud pill is a grade 7 immortal pill on the Immortal Island, but on the Divine Supreme Continent, it's only a grade 1 wonder pill. The sudden appearance of the Divine Supreme Continent had changed Qin Fang's understanding of many things. However, his ability to accept things was also very strong. He quickly gathered his thoughts and tried to use the Star March grass to break through. When a Star March pill entered his mouth, Qin Feng realized that this pill was many times stronger than the Immortal Cloud pill. The dense spiritual qi surged like the sea, rushing through his meridians. Rumble. Half an hour later, a dull sound came from Qin Fang's body. He had successfully broken through to Stage 4 Immortal Qi. Stage 4 Immortal Qi was a watershed in the Immortal Qi realm. Once one reached Stage 4, he could completely ignore the realms below Stage 4. Qin Feng flew on his sword. When he was about to reach the sect, he saw the odd job disciples who had escaped. Brother Zhou, why did you guys come back by yourselves? Qin Feng had already landed and walked to Zhou Tian's side. The odd job disciples were stunned on the spot. When they saw Qin Feng, it was as if they had seen a ghost. Zhou Tian asked carefully, Brother Qin, are you a human or a ghost? Qin Feng pursed his lips and said, Of course I'm a human. What happened to you? That's great, Brother Qin, you're still alive. There was a huge avalanche on the Celestial Fox Mountain. Everyone thought you and Hunli died in the avalanche, so we ran back. Qin Feng understood. These people thought his fight with Hunli was an avalanche. Zhou Tian suddenly looked around and asked in a hushed voice, Brother Qin, where's Hunli? The others stared at Qin Feng. They only saw him return, but did not see Hunli. Sigh. Hunli died in the avalanche. Everyone, please help me prove it when you return to the sect. Qin Feng pretended to be disappointed. Everyone was shocked. They did not understand. Since Hunli died in the avalanche, how did Qin Feng escape? But soon, no one cared about this question. Everyone was more concerned about the fact that Hunli died. Usually, these odd-job disciples were bullied by Hunli. Now that the villain died, everyone was cheering in their hearts. Qin Feng followed the crowd back to the Hunyuan sect. It was already late. Hun Fei stayed in his room all day. He was waiting for Lin Bei and the other two girls to come to his room to look for him. However, they did not come after a day. When Hun Fei walked out of his room and wandered around the outer sect area, he saw Qin Feng and the others returning. Ha! Didn't you guys go to the Celestial Fox Mountain to pick herbs with Hunli? Why are you back so soon? Hun Fei asked coldly. No one dared to speak. Qin Feng walked to the front of the crowd and said, When we were picking herbs, there was an avalanche, so everyone ran back. When Hun Fei saw Qin Feng, he was very unhappy. He looked around and frowned. Where is Hunli? Hunli died in the avalanche. Hun Fei was shocked. He even felt that this was a fantasy story. A level 3 immortal Qi cultivator would die in an avalanche? Bullshit. Even you guys can escape from the avalanche. How can Hunli be crushed to death by the snow? What happened? Han Fei suddenly roared, scaring the odd job disciples into shivering. Qin Feng said indifferently, I don't know how Han Li died. He was at the top of the celestial fox mountain. Maybe he met a fierce beast and was bitten to death. Qin Feng had already thought of an excuse. Although Han Fei had his suspicions, he could not find any fault with Qin Feng. Plus, in Han Fei's eyes, Qin Feng was an ant that didn't cultivate. He would never think that Qin Feng killed Han Li. What a bunch of trash. Since Han Li died, you guys should have brought his body back. What's the point of running back? Han Fei was very angry. He wasn't really sad about Han Li's death. It was just that he had lost his lackeys. Han Fei scolded everyone again. In the end, he could only leave angrily. When the crowd dispersed, Qin Feng hurried back to the house to find Lin Bei Bei and the other two girls. However, they were not in the house. After asking around, Qin Feng found out that the three girls went to the stable, so he rushed over. The Hunyuan sect stable area was huge, and there were thousands of horses tamed there. Qin Feng took a long time to see the three of them. Bei Bei, why are you shoveling horse dung? Qin Feng's expression was cold. He worked so hard to break through because he wanted to give the women a comfortable life. How could he see Lin Bei Bei and the others doing such dirty and tiring work? The three girls were sweating profusely. Their clothes were sticking to their bodies. Their little faces were also covered in dirt. When they saw Qin Feng, they ran over with grievances. Qin Feng, are you okay? Han Fei and Han Li are messing with us. Qin Feng already knew the situation. He pulled the three girls out of the stable. Did Han Fei tell you to shovel horse dung? He didn't do anything excessive to you, did he? The three girls shook their heads. Han Ying said, Han Fei wanted us to clean his room, but we would rather shovel horse dung than go. Qin Feng's eyes were spitting fire. He turned and left. Han Ying quickly pulled him back and said, Qin Feng, don't go find Han Fei. He's powerful and has a high status. Let's just endure it. Lin Bei Bei and Hua Xiaojun also looked at him worriedly. Actually, shoveling horse dung is nothing. As long as you're okay, it's fine. Qin Feng understood what the three girls were thinking, but he was determined to teach Han Fei a lesson. Chapter 15-16. Seeing Qin Feng's determined attitude, the three women didn't try to persuade him. At this moment, Qin Feng carried a bucket of horse dung, confusing the three women. Young Master Qin, what are you doing? Hua Xiaojun grabbed Qin Feng's arm and asked. Qin Feng smiled mysteriously at her, don't worry, I'll open your eyes later. The three women couldn't guess Qin Feng's intentions, so they could only follow him back. However, when they reached their destination, the three women realized that Qin Feng wasn't going back to his room, but to Han Fei's residence. Hee. What are the three of you doing here? Did you clean all the horse dung? Did you suddenly change your mind and want to clean my room? Han Fei was about to go out to eat when he saw the three women. He revealed a vulgar smile, thinking that the three women would submit to him so quickly. However, he quickly saw Qin Feng standing next to the three women. This guy was carrying a bucket of dung. Damn! Why are you carrying a bucket of dung, you idiot? Are you going to eat dinner tonight? The stench of horse dung filled the air. Han Fei covered his nose with a disgusted expression. A cold smile appeared on Qin Feng's face as he said indifferently, you're right, this bucket of dung is the dinner I prepared for you. Everyone was dumbfounded when they heard this. Lin Bei Bei and the other two women finally understood why Qin Feng brought horse dung to Han Fei. However, the three women were filled with worry. They weren't sure if Qin Feng could beat Han Fei. Damn you, I think you're courting death. Han Fei came back to his senses and gritted his teeth. He suddenly threw a punch. The three women screamed in fear. However, they saw Qin Feng throw away the bucket of dung and nimbly dodge Han Fei's punch. Han Fei's expression changed greatly after missing his attack. He had always thought of Qin Feng as an ant that hadn't cultivated. How could trash like this dodge his attack? You're hiding your strength. Humph. I want to see how capable you are. Han Fei was completely infuriated and threw another punch. This time, he didn't hold back at all. The air in front of him was bombarded with a piercing sound, as if a hurricane had suddenly blown up. Dust flew everywhere, blocking the vision of the three women. They anxiously yelled Qin Feng's name, afraid that something would happen to him. The sound of fists exploded in his ears, followed by a series of screams. Soon, the three women came back to their senses. That cry wasn't from Qin Feng. You dare to bully my, Qin Feng's, woman. You must be tired of living. If you don't eat that bucket of horse manure tonight, I'll beat you up so badly that even your mother won't be able to recognize you. Qin Feng's angry roar was mixed in with the sound of his fists. His voice was like that of a mad lion, and every roar shook the hearts of the three women. Bang, bang, bang. Qin Feng's lightning tiger flying sword fist was unstoppable. Even though they were both at the 4th level of immortal energy, Han Fei didn't even have the chance to retaliate. In less than a minute, Han Fei was beaten black and blue. His head was twice the size of a pig's head. The commotion caused by the battle was so intense that it attracted the attention of many disciples who were passing by. Because it was the outer sect area of the Hunyuan sect, the people who came here were all servant disciples and outer sect disciples. Are there people fighting? Who is that young man? With such a ferocious attack, it is clear that he has stepped into the 4th stage of the immortal Qi realm. Isn't he the new servant disciple, Qin Feng? This guy is really ruthless. He dared to fight on his 2nd day here. If Han Fei finds out about this, he will definitely be in trouble. That's not right. Who is the guy that Qin Feng beat up? Why does it sound like Han Fei? Han Fei's appearance had already changed. No one could recognize him from his appearance. However, his voice didn't change, which made everyone suspicious. After fighting for a full 5 minutes, Qin Feng stopped. At this moment, Han Fei was covered in blood. He was rolling on the ground and screaming in pain like a stray dog. Qin Feng acted as if he didn't see the onlookers. He swaggered over with the bucket of horse manure. What is that kid carrying? It stinks. That's horse manure, right? Why is he carrying horse manure? Fuck, did he pour the horse dung on that person's body? How did that guy offend Qin Feng? The crowd was in a heated discussion. They were completely shocked by Qin Feng's actions. Lin Bei Bei and the other 2 women's eyes widened. They quickly realized one thing. Even though this was the divine continent, Qin Feng was still brave and domineering. After the bucket of horse manure was scattered, the stench was overwhelming. Han Fei didn't dare to scream anymore. Every time he opened his mouth, horse manure would fall into it. The stench almost made him faint. Qin Feng stood to the side and looked at him coldly. Han Fei, today is a small lesson for you. In the future, if you dare to offend my 3 wives again, I will make you disappear from the divine continent forever. From beginning to end, Qin Feng's domineering aura completely overturned his low-key new servant-disciple image in everyone's hearts. Suddenly, there was an exclamation from the crowd. Some people realized the important information in Qin Feng's words. That person who was beaten up is Brother Fei. It really looks like Brother Fei. He's wearing an outer disciple's uniform, and this is Brother Fei's residence. Crazy, crazy. That servant disciple dared to hit Brother Fei. And he even poured horse manure on Brother Fei. Everyone looked as if they had seen a ghost. They were stunned on the spot for a long time. Qin Feng didn't care about this at all. He had already left with the 3 women. He didn't want to stay here and smell the horse manure. Just as the 4 of them returned to their residence, a figure jumped out from behind them. Qin Feng recognized the person as the servant disciple Zhou Tian. He let the 3 women return to their rooms first. "Brother Zhou, what's the matter?" Qin Feng smiled. Zhou Tian was still in a daze. He saw with his own eyes the scene of Qin Feng beating up Han Fei. At that time, Qin Feng's face was as cold as frost. He looked like the Grim Reaper from hell. Now, he looked at Qin Feng's innocent and sunny smile. Was he even human? Big brother Qin. Zhou Tian's way of addressing Qin Feng changed. How did you offend Han Fei? You'll definitely be in trouble in the future. Zhou Tian reminded Qin Feng not to offend Han Li back at Celestial Fox Mountain. Now, he came to remind Qin Feng to be careful of Han Fei. Qin Feng had a good impression of him. "Don't worry, brother Zhou. Han Fei can't beat me," Qin Feng said casually. Zhou Tian sneakily looked around. Seeing that there was no one around, he pulled Qin Feng to a hidden place at the back of the house. "Big brother Qin, you underestimate Han Fei's power. He's only at stage 4 immortal energy, which isn't considered very powerful among the outer sect disciples. However, Han Fei relied on his cousin, Han Zhen, to get to the position of big brother among the outer sect disciples." Qin Feng frowned and asked, "Is Han Zhen very powerful?" Zhou Tian guessed that Qin Feng didn't know Han Zhen. Otherwise, he wouldn't have dared to offend Han Fei. Han Zhen is one of the Han Yuan sect's core disciples. It's said that he reached stage 6 immortal energy at the age of 30. Now that big brother Qin offended Han Fei, he'll definitely report this to his cousin. Qin Feng started to worry. He just reached stage 4 immortal energy, so he clearly wasn't Han Zhen's match. Qin Feng even started to plan his escape. He planned to take Lin Bei and the other 2 girls away from the Han Yuan sect. As for Su Ruoro and Zhao Ling Xian, they were Han Tian Zhao's core disciples, so Han Zhen wouldn't dare to do anything to them. Moreover, Han Tian Zhao didn't mention the relationship between the 2 girls and Qin Feng when they entered the sect, so Han Fei probably didn't know about this. Everything happened so suddenly. Qin Feng immediately said goodbye to Zhou Tian and returned to his house to pack his things. After rushing through the night, the 4 of them arrived at the Celestial Fox Mountain. Qin Feng wasn't familiar with the Divine Supreme Continent, so he only knew a little about the Celestial Fox Mountain. The 3 girls didn't say much along the way. When they saw Qin Feng stop, Han Ying couldn't help but ask, "Qin Feng, what happened?" Qin Feng said with a serious expression, "Han Fei has a cousin who's reached stage 6 immortal energy. That guy wants to cause trouble for us." The 3 girls became nervous. Although they didn't know Qin Feng's exact strength, they could tell from the current situation that Qin Feng wasn't a match for Han Fei's cousin. Seeing that Lin Bei and the other 2 women had a lot on their minds, Qin Feng comforted them, "Don't worry, I'm not far from the 6th layer of celestial energy. This time, I came out to train hard. When I step into the 6th layer of celestial energy, I'll personally kill Han Fei and Han Zhen." Han Ying and the other 2 girls listened to Qin Feng's arrangements, so the 4 of them settled down on the Celestial Fox Mountain. 3 days passed, but nothing happened. Just when Qin Feng let out a sigh of relief, a black-clothed man in his early 30s came to the Celestial Fox Mountain. "Qin brat, how dare you humiliate my cousin, Han Fei? I'll take your life today." The black-clothed man was Hun Zhen. He clearly saw Qin Feng's portrait at Hun Fei's place, so he recognized Qin Feng immediately. Qin Feng realized that he couldn't avoid this, so he said to the three girls behind him, "Ying, you guys go first." The further the better, the three girls were afraid. They had followed Qin Feng for so long and had an indescribable rapport with him. In the past, when they were chased by enemies, Qin Feng only told them to stand a bit further away to avoid being accidentally injured. This time, Qin Feng told them to run as far away as possible. This meant that Qin Feng had no confidence in this battle. "Qin Feng, I'm not leaving. If I die with you." Han Ying's expression was resolute. Lin Bei Bei and Hua Xiaozhen also shook their heads with all their might, indicating that they didn't want to leave. Hun Zhen, who carried a large knife and stood opposite them, laughed loudly. "Ah! Do you think it's up to you to decide whether to leave or not? With me here, no one can escape." Qin Feng was burning with anxiety. His trump cards were Canon Huangzhong and Osla. In addition, he subdued the rank 4 spirit beast White Fox King not long ago. However, even if these 3 trump cards were added together, they might not be able to defeat Hun Zhen, who was at stage 6 immortal energy. Qin Feng couldn't let the 3 girls throw a tantrum. Suddenly, a turbulent flow of air shot out from his body, pushing the 3 girls to an empty space 100 meters away. Seeing this, Hun Zhen wasn't anxious at all. He had long since seen through Qin Feng's realm. Qin Feng was merely at stage 4 immortal energy. He was completely confident that he could kill Qin Feng and then capture Lin Bei Bei and the others. Chapter 15-17. You're courting death. Qin Feng was furious. With a raise of his hand, a golden long saber slashed down. The golden phoenix immediately pulled out hundreds of meters of saber energy in the air, like a giant golden dragon whistling over. The light smile on Hun Zhen's face disappeared, and a strange light flashed in his eyes. He quickly slashed horizontally above his head. Boom! The 2 saber energies collided in the air, and a huge explosion sounded like muffled thunder, shaking the valley. Even though Lin Bei Bei and the other 2 were standing hundreds of meters away, they still felt a strong pressure, forcing them to take dozens of steps back. "Humph! I didn't expect you to have some strength, but you're still like an ant in front of me." Hun Zhen quickly recovered his disdainful expression. He leaped lightly and casually swung his saber. It looked like a simple slash, but in an instant, a dense saber cloud condensed. Qin Feng didn't even have time to react before he was sent flying by the airwave. Boom! As soon as Qin Feng landed, Hun Zhen followed like a shadow. There were 2 huge pits in the ground. One was from Qin Feng's landing, and the other was from the crack under Hun Zhen's feet. Truly a piece of trash that can't even withstand a single blow. "Someone like you dares to pour horse dung on my cousin. Go to hell." Hun Zhen waved his saber again, and the wind and clouds seemed to change as he raised his hand. A row of saber energy shrouded over like clouds and mist. How could Qin Feng dodge this saber? But just as the saber cloud was about to fall, a wild roar came. The White Fox King leaped and blocked above Qin Feng's head. Rumble! The saber energy landed on the White Fox King's body, and a bloody wound appeared on its snow-white hard fur. The White Fox King roared at the sky in pain, but immediately flew towards Hun Zhen. Whoosh! As the White Fox King waved its claws, the air exploded. Its appearance was so sudden that even Hun Zhen was taken aback. However, Hun Zhen's reaction speed was very fast. Seeing that the White Fox King's sharp claws were about to hit his head, Hun Zhen turned his saber and slashed horizontally. Clang! The collision was like the loud sound of two speeding trains colliding. The violent aura shook the surroundings, and the White Fox King's huge body flew out like a kite with a broken string. Hun Jin only somersaulted in the air and landed steadily on the ground. This series of fights happened in the span of a few breaths. Qin Fen's heart sank. The White Fox King's power was comparable to that of a Stage 5 Immortal Qi Realm cultivator, but it was completely unable to withstand the chaotic quake technique. Good lad, you actually managed to tame this kind of spirit beast. What other trump cards do you have? Just use them all. Once I destroy you, all of them will be mine. Not only did Hun Jin not care about the appearance of the White Fox King, but he also looked excited. Qin Fen had already realized his strength, so he might as well take out all his trump cards and fight to the death with Hun Jin. Rumble. For a time, loud noises rang out in the air. Ogre cannons Huang Zhong and Osra descended from the sky. Hun Jin was dumbfounded. Where did these people and beasts come from? Rumble. Huang Zhong was an impatient person. As soon as he landed, he fired a cannon. Hun Jin's expression changed slightly, but he stood his ground without dodging. Seeing that the flames were about to engulf him, Huan Jin raised his saber and slashed forward. A row of saber clouds surged over and engulfed the power of the cannons. The saber landed on Huang Zhong's body and sent him flying to the ground. Osra roared as it followed. With every step it took, the ground shook violently. Where did this giant beast come from? Why haven't I seen it on the divine mainland? Hun Jin looked at Osra with a blank expression. This guy's appearance was strange, and he felt that it was not a local creature. While Hun Jin was lost in thought, Osra had already arrived in front of him. Its huge tail swept out like a sea-stabilizing divine needle. Wind howled in the air, and a gust of wind blew on the originally calm mountaintop. However, Hun Jin did not move. Instead, he suddenly reached out and grabbed Osra's tail, throwing it away. Rumble. When Osra landed, it was as if a meteorite had fallen from the sky. In just a few minutes, Hun Jin had defeated all three of Qin Fen's trump cards. He leaped and appeared in front of Qin Fen again. The playful expression on his face became more intense. Ha! You have a lot of treasures, but your strength is too weak. If you have any other powerful weapons, bring them out. Otherwise, you won't have a chance. Qin Fen wanted to, but he did not have the strength. At this time, Little Pig's voice sounded in his mind. Master, use the destroyer hunting pincer to bite that guy to death. Qin Fen was stunned. Are you kidding? The hunting pincer is so small. How can it eat a level 6 immortal? Little Pig's face was serious. Master, you underestimated the hunting pincer's ability to swallow. It can swallow anything in the world, dead or alive. It can swallow anything it wants. Qin Fen could not imagine how the hunting pincer could swallow Hun Jin, but he knew that Little Pig was serious. Qin Fen was about to release the hunting pincer when Little Pig added, "Oh right, Master, the hunting pincer is still in its initial state. Its life force is still very weak. It can't withstand Hun Jin's attack at all. Therefore, Master wants the hunting pincer to sneak attack Hun Jin. It's best if it can jump into Hun Jin's body and swallow the energy in his dantian." With a thought, the hunting pincer was released. However, Qin Fen was a little worried. Hun Jin was a level 6 immortal. It was easier said than done for the hunting pincer to jump into his body. Since you don't have any trump cards, then die. Hun Jin's patience had run out. He suddenly swung his sword. Qin Fen immediately flew out on his golden wheel. When he was in mid-air, the ground where he had been standing exploded into a ravine. Hun Jin looked up, and his eyes shone. Wow, he even has a flying spiritual weapon. I've hit the jackpot today. Han Zhen did not care about Qin Fen from beginning to end. When he saw Qin Fen take out so many treasures, he already saw them as his own. After dodging Han Zhen's sword, Qin Fen suddenly roared. A holy white light descended from the sky. The instant Qin Fen drew the heavenly eagle bow, the cloud-piercing arrow fell like a meteor. Rumble. The cloud-piercing arrow was extremely fast, but Han Zhen narrowly dodged it. He looked at the crack that pierced deep into the earth's core. His expression became serious for the first time. Qin, I'm going to cut you into 1,000 pieces. Mixed essence 7 blades, first form, toppling mountains and overturning seas. That arrow had almost injured Han Zhen, and he was completely enraged. Han Zhen roared and leaped into the air. For the first time, he waved the large saber in his hand. The sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds. However, it was not a real cloud, but a surging saber cloud condensed under Han Zhen's saber. The saber chi filled the sky and fell. Qin Fen flew all the way on the golden wheel, and the ground behind him exploded one after another. It was like shooting a sci-fi blockbuster. Rumble. The explosion seemed to be unstoppable. In the end, Qin Fen could not dodge in time and was blown to the ground. Huang Zhong, Osla, and the White Fox King hurriedly rushed over. The three of them attacked at the same time and temporarily stopped Han Zhen. Qin Fen saw the opportunity at this moment. He urged his mind to communicate with the hunting turtle. A light flashed, and the hunting turtle that had been hiding under Han Zhen's feet leaped out. Its speed was so fast that even Qin Fen could not catch it. Quang quang quang. A strange sound suddenly sounded in Qin Fen's mind, but he was very familiar with this sound. It was the strange sound of the hunting turtle eating. The next moment, Han Zhen, who was in the midst of a fierce battle, suddenly froze. His expression changed drastically. He covered his abdomen with both hands, and beads of sweat appeared on his forehead. What the hell ran into my body? Get the hell out. Han Zhen realized that the situation was not right. He circulated his aura to force the hunting turtle out. Little Pig hurriedly shouted, Master, quickly attack Han Zhen. Don't let him force the hunting turtle out. Qin Fen forced his injured body to stand up, and with a roar, he drew his bow and shot an arrow. Huang Zhong and the other two also realized the urgency of the situation and used all their skills to attack Han Zhen. For a moment, there was a loud noise. The attacks of the four were so fierce that even Han Zhen did not dare to ignore them. However, Han Zhen wanted to force the hunting turtle out of his body and fight Qin Fen and the other three at the same time. He was too busy. Quang quang quang. The sound of the hunting turtle eating became more and more hurried, accompanied by Han Zhen's painful screams. At this time, Han Zhen could no longer fight. He hugged his stomach and rolled back and forth on the ground. The fierce attacks of the four all landed on his body, and the flat ground was full of holes from the explosions. It was unknown what the hunting turtle was eating in Han Zhen's body, but its eating speed was getting faster and faster. Just listening to the sound made Qin Fen feel horrified. Rumble. Not long after, a loud sound came from Han Zhen's body. His body exploded on its own, and the surging and violent immortal qi scattered. A shadow shot out from the explosion and landed on Qin Fen's shoulder in the blink of an eye. The hunting turtle wasn't injured. It bared its teeth and smiled foolishly at Qin Fen. Master, the hunting turtle said it ate Han Zhen's dantian clean. That guy is already dead, Little Pig said. Qin Fen's eyes were filled with shock. Han Zhen was a stage 6 immortal qi expert. How strong was his dantian? The hunting turtle could even eat something like a dantian. It was simply too abnormal. After this battle, Qin Fan also deeply understood the hunting turtle's devouring ability. This little guy was worthy of being a level 9 star beast. When he grew to adulthood, would he want to devour the entire planet? A stage 6 immortal Qi expert was killed by a bug the size of an earthworm. Qin Fan was momentarily unable to accept this reality. When the battle ended, Lin Bei and the other two rushed over anxiously. When they saw the remnants of blood at the corner of Qin Fan's mouth, their hearts ached so much that their eyes became moist. "It's all right. Han Zhen is already dead. We're safe for now." Qin Fan comforted the three women for a while. When they calmed down, Qin Fan walked to the area where Han Zhen exploded and found 2 storage bags. This kind of storage bag was very common in the Divine Supreme Continent. Even odd-job disciples like Zhou Tian had one. Storage bags could store many things, but they were too inferior compared to the Emerald Spirit Ring and Star Ring on Qin Fan's hands. As a stage 6 immortal Qi expert, Han Zhen's 2 storage bags contained many treasures. There were hundreds of high-grade spirit stones and many pills that could help with breakthroughs. There were spirit tools and some martial techniques, but Qin Fan didn't care about them at all. Friends who want to read books, you can search for Blue Book Bar, and you'll find this site immediately. Chapter 15-18. After Han Zhen was destroyed, Qin Fan did not bring the 3 women back to Hunyuan sect. Now that he was on the Divine Continent, Qin Fan's priority was to speed up his breakthrough. If he returned to the sect, he would encounter a lot of trouble, so it was better to stay on the Celestial Fox Mountain and cultivate in peace. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. During this period of time, Qin Feng and the other 3 stayed at the Celestial Fox Mountain to cultivate day and night. In Han Zhen's storage bag, there were a few supplementary elixirs that could help one break through to stage 5 and stage 6 immortal Qi. Qin Feng used these elixirs to break through quickly. In a short month, he had already stepped into stage 7 immortal Qi. Lin Bei and the other 2 girls also grew very quickly. Among them, Hua Xiaozhen's cultivation level was the highest. She had already stepped into the 3rd layer of immortal energy. Lin Bei and Han Ying were both at the peak of Immortal Qi Stage 2, and were on the verge of breaking through to Immortal Qi Stage 3. It had been a month and a half since the formation in the secular world of Huaxia and the Divine Land had weakened. Qin Feng had leaped from a level 2 immortal to a level 7 immortal. Although this realm was nothing in the Divine Continent, at least Qin Fan had the ability to protect himself in the Northern Sand Continent and wouldn't be easily trampled upon. It's been a month. I wonder how Ruo and Ling Xian are. The 3 women stood at the peak of the Sky Fox Mountain and looked in the direction of the Hunyuan sect. They missed their 2 good sisters. Seeing that it was about time, Qin Feng brought the 3 women to the Hunyuan sect. This time, he planned to take Su Ruo and Zhao Lingxian away. Afterwards, everyone would go to the Spirit Immortal sect and gather their friends and family. The Hunyuan sect remained the same for a month. However, when Qin Feng and the others arrived at the outer sect area, they discovered that the disciples were in a hurry, as if they were busy with something important. Big brother Qin. Is it really you? You're still alive. A cry of surprise rang out. Qin Feng recognized Zhou Tian. However, Zhou Tian's face and arms were covered in bloody scars as if he had been beaten. Brother Zhou, what happened to your injuries? Qin Feng raised his eyebrows. Zhou Tian gradually came back to his senses, but the shock in his eyes did not fade. A month ago, everyone knew that Huanjin had come out of seclusion to seek revenge on Qin Fan, and then Qin Fan had disappeared for a month. Just when everyone thought Qin Feng was dead, he suddenly appeared. Before Zhou Tian could speak, another dozen or so disciples had already surrounded Zhang Xian. The moment everyone saw Qin Feng, they screamed in fear as if they had seen a ghost. Holy shit! Is this person really Qin Feng? Isn't he dead? Could it be that Han Dungeon didn't find them the last time he came out of seclusion? This guy actually dared to bring a woman back. Isn't that courting death? The crowd discussed among themselves, and none of them were optimistic about Qin Feng. When the discussion fell into the ears of the three women, they all looked a little unhappy. However, Qin Feng acted as if he didn't hear anything. After he looked around, he discovered a problem. These odd job disciples all had red and swollen bloodstains on their bodies, as if they had been violently beaten up. Big brother Qin, you should leave quickly. If Hun Fei and Hun Jin find out that you're still alive, you'll be in trouble. Zhou Tian pulled Qin Feng to the side and reminded him in a low voice. Qin Feng was a little amused. That Hun Zhen had died a month ago. If he could still jump out now, then he would really have seen a ghost. Brother Zhou, where did your injuries come from? Could it be Hun Fei? Qin Feng was concerned about another matter. Zhou Tian's eyes flashed with anger, but it disappeared in a flash. Sigh. Anyway, we're all odd job disciples, and we're used to being beaten and scolded like animals. As long as no one dies, it's not a big deal. Big brother Qin, you'd better leave quickly. Qin Feng already understood the situation. Ever since he left with the three women, that Hun Fei had nowhere to vent his anger, so he had been beating up Zhou Tian and the other odd job disciples to vent his anger. Thinking of this, Qin Feng was very angry. In the end, he had implicated everyone. Crack! At this moment, the sound of a whip exploded, causing everyone to cover their heads and scurry away in fear. Zhou Tian's expression changed drastically. His legs trembled violently, and he felt like he was going to kneel on the ground at any moment. You bunch of bastards, are you lazing around again? Today is the day of the sect tournament. Who allowed you to gather here and chat? The roar was like thunder, and Qin Feng found it somewhat familiar. When he looked over, he saw that Hun Fei was indeed standing there. Hun Fei's sudden arrival scared everyone half to death. It was obvious that everyone had been tortured by him for the past month. Zhou Tian trembled as he whispered in Qin Feng's ear, trying to persuade him to leave quickly. However, not only did Qin Feng not escape, he even strode towards Hun Fei. Which stray dog is barking here so early in the morning? I was the one who asked them to gather here and chat. You're not convinced. Compared to Hun Fei's angry roar, Qin Feng's voice was calm, but it was even more shocking. The people who were about to escape stopped abruptly and looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. They even suspected that they were dreaming. Hun Fei was stunned and looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. He didn't expect that there would be someone among these odd job disciples who dared to shout at him. However, when his gaze landed on Qin Feng, he jumped in fright. You are Qin Feng. Aren't you dead? Seeing Hun Fei, the three girls were filled with anger. Now that Hua Xiaojun had broken through to stage 3 Immortal Qi realm, she looked like she was itching to teach Hun Fei a lesson. Qin Feng stood in front of the three girls and looked at him indifferently. Who said I'm dead? I also said you're dead. Hun Fei finally came back to his senses. He realized that Qin Feng really wasn't dead. However, he couldn't understand what was going on no matter how hard he thought about it. Back then, Han Zhen's cousin had personally come out. How could he let a mere Qin Feng escape? Humph. You're lucky that Han Zhen's cousin didn't find you. Hun Fei quickly had his own guess. However, you still dared to come back. This time, no one can save you. Hun Fei was still living in his own fantasy world. Qin Feng and the three girls looked at him sympathetically. Qin Feng didn't say much about him killing Hun Jin. After all, Hun Zhen was a core disciple of Hun Yuan's sect. If the elders of Hun Yuan's sect found out about this, they might get into trouble again. Hun Fei was holding a horse whip in his hand. The end of the whip was stained with a yellowish-black substance that emitted a foul smell. The end of the whip was stained with horse dung. For the past month, Hun Fei had used this whip to beat everyone every day to vent the humiliation of being splashed with horse dung by Qin Feng. Qin, my cousin Hun Zhen, is one of the core disciples of the sect. He has long reached stage 6 immortal Qi realm. You dared to disrespect me in the past. Today, I will give you a way out. Obediently take off your clothes and let me whip you. Otherwise, when my cousin comes, he will kill you with one slap. Hun Fei was worried that he wouldn't have a chance to take revenge on Qin Feng. He didn't expect that Qin Feng would deliver himself to his doorstep. Everyone looked at him sympathetically. Zhou Tian was so anxious that his palms were sweating. However, Qin Feng flashed by. When he reappeared in front of everyone, he was still standing in the same place, but there was a horsewhip in his hand. It was the one in Hun Fei's hand. You dare to steal my... Hun Fei screamed in anger, but he was interrupted by the dull sound of the whip before he could finish. Paw! Qin Feng casually raised his horsewhip. The tail of the whip, which was stained with horse dung, hit Hun Fei's lips, leaving a black and yellow mark. Hun Fei screamed in pain, but just as he opened his mouth, he immediately closed it. The pile of horse dung fell into his mouth, making him want to vomit. Cries of surprise could be heard from the crowd. Everyone was dumbfounded by Qin Feng's whip. What Qin Feng was doing was something that everyone dreamed of doing, but none of them had the guts to do what Qin Feng did. A odd job disciple actually beat the big brother figure of the outer sect disciples. This matter was like an international joke. Paw! The sound of the whip exploded again. Qin Feng's seemingly light and nimble whip left overlapping shadows in the air, as if hundreds of green threads were descending. Hun Fei's black robe was torn, and his skin was covered with blood. The horse dung on the tail of the whip was stained with blood, which made people feel disgusted. Paw! 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 Qin Feng couldn't stop once he started, and Hun Fei was rolling on the ground. More and more people were watching, but they were all odd job disciples and outer sect disciples. When everyone recognized that the person who was being whipped was Hun Fei, their eyes and jaws fell to the ground. However, after a long time, no one stood up to stop Qin Feng. It was not that everyone was afraid of Qin Feng's skills, but that they were usually bullied by Hun Fei, and now they were all cheering in their hearts. Qin Feng didn't stop until he whipped for more than 10 minutes. At this time, Hun Fei was covered in blood and horse dung. He was lying on the ground, and it was hard to tell what he was. The crowd dispersed, and they were all a little afraid of Qin Feng. This person was obviously just an odd job disciple, but what he did was earth-shattering. Big brother Qin, you're still so fierce. You're looking for trouble for yourself. Seeing Hun Fei get beaten up, Zhou Tian felt very good. However, after the good feeling, he started to worry about Qin Feng. Don't worry about me, brother Zhou. Hun Fei is like an ant in my eyes. As for Hun Zhen, there's no need to mention him. He won't show up, Qin Feng said. Zhou Tian didn't know that Hun Zhen was killed, and he thought Qin Feng was a little arrogant. Hun Fei was only at stage 4 immortal Qi, while Hun Zhen was an expert at stage 6 immortal Qi. Even if Qin Feng could beat Hun Fei, how could he beat Hun Zhen? Seeing that Zhou Tian was about to persuade him again, Qin Feng said, "That's right, Hun Fei mentioned the sect tournament just now." Yes. Today is the Hun Yuan sect's disciple tournament, so everyone is busy building the arena, Zhou Tian said truthfully. When Qin Feng arrived at the sect, he saw that everyone was in a hurry. It turned out that they were preparing for the sect tournament. However, Qin Feng wasn't interested in the Hun Yuan sect's tournament. This time, he came back to take Zhao Ling Xian and Su Ruoro away. "Brother Zhou, I'm leaving today. I don't know if I'll see you again. If Brother Zhou isn't happy in the Hun Yuan sect, you can go to the Celestial Soul sect and tell them my name." Qin Feng felt that Zhou Tian was a good person, so he pointed out a way for him. However, Zhou Tian foolishly repeated the Celestial Soul sect's name. He still couldn't figure out when such a sect appeared in the North Sand continent. "Okay, big brother Qin, hurry up and leave with the three sisters-in-law. If Hunjin gets here, it'll be troublesome." Zhou Tian didn't care about the Celestial Soul sect at all. He was still worried about Qin Feng and the others. Friends who want to read books, you can search Blue Book Bar to find this site immediately. Chapter 15-19. Qin Feng bid farewell to Zhou Tian. He knew that Zhou Tian wouldn't believe him no matter how much he explained. If he told him that Huanjin had been killed, Zhou Tian would probably be scared to death. The four of them walked towards the inner area of the Hunyuan sect. As soon as they reached the entrance, they were stopped by the guards. "Why do you four look so unfamiliar? This is the inner area of the sect. Unauthorized personnel are not allowed in." Entering the inner area required one to show their identity token. However, these guards had been here for many years and knew almost all the inner and core disciples of the sect. Normally, these disciples didn't need to show their identity token. However, the guards stopped Qin Feng when they saw that he was unfamiliar. Lin Bei Bei and the other two girls immediately became nervous. They were afraid that they would be in trouble if their identities were exposed. However, a turbulent aura suddenly exploded from Qin Feng's body. The pressure almost made them faint. "Are you blind? We are the core disciples of the Hunyuan sect. We usually cultivate in seclusion. Of course you lowly people haven't seen us before." Qin Feng reprimanded them as if they were the core disciples of the sect. The dozen or so guards were dumbfounded. Qin Feng's aura burst revealed the full power of a Stage 7 immortal. There weren't many people in the Hunyuan sect who could reach Stage 7 at such a young age. "Senior, please don't blame us. We were wrong. Seniors, please come in." The group of disciples immediately changed their attitudes. The others lowered their heads and didn't even have the courage to look at Qin Feng. The leader of the guard's voice was trembling when he spoke. Qin Feng swaggered into the inner area. Lin Bei Bei and the other two girls foolishly followed behind him. The environment of the inner area was very different from the outer area. The buildings were grand and luxurious. The density of the spiritual energy in the surroundings was also several levels higher. However, although the inner area was big, the number of disciples was much smaller than the outer area. There were a few people scattered along the way. Qin Feng randomly asked one of them where Su Ruoro and Zhao Ling Xian lived. The inner area was divided according to the names of the elders. Su Ruoro and Zhao Ling Xian were the disciples of the Hunyuan sect's proud elders, so they were assigned to the Azure Moon Palace's area. When Qin Feng and the others arrived at the Azure Moon Palace's area, the first thing they felt was the density of the spiritual energy in the surroundings. No wonder people from the Divine Supreme Continent wanted to join a sect and become a core disciple of a sect. The higher one's status was, the more cultivation resources they could obtain. This was equivalent to winning at the starting line. "Look, Spirit Immortal Ruoro is cultivating over there." Lin Bei Bei suddenly jumped up in excitement. Everyone looked towards a small garden not far away. Su Ruoro and Lin Bei Bei were dressed in white and were dancing gracefully like fairies. The four of them hurriedly walked over. Without saying anything, Qin Feng pulled the two women into his arms. After not seeing each other for more than a month, Qin Feng missed her dearly. You, hurry up and let go of spirit immortal Ruoro. Otherwise, I'll cut you in half. A furious roar sounded beside his ear, and a black-robed young man stood at the side. There were two people behind the man, both of whom were glaring at Qin Feng furiously. Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian were still in a daze. They looked at Qin Feng, who was so close to them, and felt as if they were dreaming. Qin Feng didn't let go of the two women. He looked at the man who spoke with an indifferent expression. I'm hugging my own wife. Why do you care? Who do you think you are? Qin Feng's words caused the three of them to be dumbfounded. Ever since Zhao Lingxian and Su Ruoro had entered the inner court of the Hunyuan sect, they had become the dream lovers of many male disciples. Who knew how many disciples had tried to woo the two women over the past month? Who would have thought that the two women were already married? Brat, don't you dare insult Ruoro and Lingxian's reputation. Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself? How are you worthy of them? After the man came back to his senses, he didn't believe Qin Feng's words. Zhao Lingxian and Su Ruoro finally came back to their senses and realized that Qin Feng had really come to find them. The two women tightly held Qin Feng's arms in front of the man as they spoke coldly. Han Qianquan, this is indeed our husband. Don't waste time. We've followed Qin Feng for a long time, and we're already his. Han Qianquan was one of the two women's pursuers. Moreover, he had been very aggressive recently, causing the two women to feel disgusted. Seeing that the two women had admitted it themselves, Han Qianquan had a look of disbelief on his face. He looked at Qin Feng again. He was completely unfamiliar with Qin Feng's appearance. Evidently, he wasn't a disciple of the inner court. Stinking brat, where did you come from? You even dare to steal our big brother Qinquan's junior sister? I think you don't want to stay in the Hunyuan sect anymore. If you know what's good for you, you'll immediately scram. The two lackeys standing behind Han Qianquan jumped out. Their arrogant expressions showed that they didn't care about Qin Feng at all. Qin Feng didn't know who these three people were, but he didn't want to know. He raised his hand and slapped the two lackeys. Paw! Paw! The slaps were clean and crisp, and the sounds were crisp and pleasing to the ear. The two lackeys were completely dumbfounded. They covered their red and swollen faces and stared at Qin Feng in disbelief. Why you dare to hit me? I think you're tired of living. Today, your elder will teach you how to be a person. The two disciples angrily swung their fists at Qin Feng. When they circulated their qi, Qin Feng could tell that they were only at stage 4 immortal qi. Before the two's fists could reach him, Qin Feng casually slapped out with his palms. A massive sound rang out, and the two of them fell tens of meters away like kites with their strings cut. There weren't many disciples in the inner court, so the fight didn't attract many onlookers. After the two lackeys fell to the ground, they continuously cried out in pain. Han Qianquan's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. Just as he was about to teach Qin Feng a lesson, he suddenly stopped. Humph! You're lucky, brat. The sect competition is about to begin, so don't let me see you on the stage. Otherwise, I'll make you kneel and beg for mercy. Han Qianquan threw down these harsh words and left by himself. The two lackeys forced themselves to follow him. After the three of them left, Qin Feng and the others reunited for a moment of warmth. Qin Feng, let's go now. The sect competition is about to begin, and everyone's going to watch. It'll be a good time for us to escape. After a moment of warmth, Su Ruoro got down to business. Zhao Lingxian frowned and added, "We can't stay in the Hunyuan sect anymore. Otherwise, that Hun Chinkuan will definitely make trouble for you." Qin Feng said nonchalantly, "What's Hun Chinkuan's identity? I heard you guys say that he's very powerful." Zhao Lingxian said, "He's a core disciple of the Hunyuan sect, and he's ranked first on the dragon rankings." Qin Feng didn't know much about the Hunyuan sect situation. Seeing him raise his eyebrows, Su Ruoro explained, "The Hunyuan sect created a dragon rankings and a phoenix rankings. Both rankings are for the sect's disciples. The dragon rankings are for the male disciples, while the phoenix rankings are for the female disciples. Hun Chinkuan is ranked first on the dragon rankings, so he's the most powerful disciple in the Hunyuan sect." Qin Feng didn't expect to meet the most powerful disciple as soon as he arrived in the inner court. This made him confused. Since that guy is so powerful, why did he suddenly run away? Chapter 15-20. After learning that Qin Feng wanted to participate in the sect competition, Zhou Tian began to persuade him. He even suspected that Qin Feng had gone crazy. Qin Feng did not explain further. As time passed, more and more disciples gathered around the training grounds. At a glance, there were at least 500 or 600 people. Another group of people walked over, causing the crowd to be excited. The sect competition is about to begin. Those experts on the dragon ranking have all appeared. If I'm not mistaken, that black-robed long-haired man is Hun Dan, who was ranked 4th on the dragon ranking last time, right? I know that bald man. He's Hun Qianyun, who was ranked 3rd on the dragon ranking. Damn. Hun Dalong is here too. He's ranked 2nd on the dragon ranking. Why don't I see Hun Jin? I think he disappeared for more than a month. The arrival of this small group of people caused a heated discussion among the disciples. Qin Feng had a general understanding of the situation of the Hunyuan sect's disciples on the dragon ranking. He did not expect that Hun Jin, who was killed by him, was ranked 5th on the dragon ranking. It seemed that the strength of the Hunyuan sect's disciples was not that exaggerated. Not long after Hun Qianyun and the other two arrived, another group of disciples came. They were the disciples ranked 6th to 10th on the dragon ranking, which caused a commotion among the crowd. The 8 disciples stood at the side with arrogant expressions. They looked like they were experts, but in their hearts, they were very happy with everyone's praises. "Look! Hun Chinkuan is here," another exclamation came from the crowd. All the disciples looked in the same direction. Hun Chinkuan, who was wearing a black robe, walked over with a calm expression. The crowd immediately made way for him as he passed by. All sorts of screams and discussions rose and fell. However, Hun Chinkuan remained calm and did not even look at the crowd. Hun Qianyun and the others were forgotten because of Hun Chinkuan's appearance. Seeing that Hun Chinkuan had stolen the limelight, the 8 people's faces turned cold. However, none of them dared to stand out and find trouble with Hun Chinkuan. Now, except for Hun Jin, the top 10 disciples on the dragon ranking had gathered at the training field. The rest of the disciples were in an uproar. The competition had not started yet, but everyone was already talking about who would be the champion of the dragon ranking. "Qin Feng, why don't we leave first?" Seeing the powerful disciples appear one after another, Su Ruoro and the others started to worry. Among the crowd, Hun Chinkuan was the one with the most support. As for the other 3 in the top 5 of the dragon ranking, they also had support. No one in the audience could hear the shouts for the outer sanctum disciples. As for the odd job disciples, no one could think of it. Qin Feng understood what the women were thinking, but he stood with an indifferent expression in the crowd and did not explain too much. After a while, a few older men and women walked over unhurriedly from afar. The appearance of these people caused the originally excited disciples to immediately calm down. Elder Hun Tian Jiao and the other elders have all arrived. I'm afraid the competition is about to begin. Su Ruoro and Zhao Ling Xian looked anxious. They realized that they couldn't leave even if they wanted to. There were a total of 4 elders, 3 men and 1 woman. Qin Fan only knew Hun Tianjiao. It was his first time seeing the other 3 elders. The 4 of them walked onto the gigantic stage. They were like 4 towering mountains that people could not see through. Even Qin Feng felt a sense of pressure when he looked directly at the 4 of them. Today is the Han Yuan sect's annual sect competition. The purpose of the competition is to encourage everyone to cultivate hard and improve together. The 4 elders each gave an opening speech on the stage. The hundreds of disciples below the stage listened attentively and did not dare to make a sound. Qin Feng could not see through the 4 elders' realms, but he knew that he would not be able to withstand a single attack from them. However, Qin Feng looked around a few times and did not see the Han Yuan sect leader. After the 4 elders on the stage finished speaking, the last male elder stood up. Su Ruoro immediately introduced him to Qin Feng. This is Elder Hun Yuan Hai. Hun Qinkuan is the disciple he's most proud of. Because Hun Qinkuan took first place on the dragon ranking last year, Hun Yuan Hai's position among the 4 elders became the most prominent. Qin Feng nodded. At that moment, Hun Yuan Hai said, I hereby announce that this year's sect competition has officially begun. The rules of the competition are the same as the previous years. The participating disciples are not limited to their identities. If any accidents happen during the competition, the participating disciples and the Hun Yuan sect organizer will not be responsible. As Hun Yuan Hai's voice fell, the disciples who had been quiet for a long time became excited again. Qin Feng saw many people walking to a place at the side, so he asked Zhou Tian, Brother Zhou, is that the place to register for the competition? Zhou Tian and the 5 ladies realized what Qin Feng was going to do, so they looked solemn. Zhou Tian answered honestly, yes, you can register there and participate in the sect competition. Qin Feng went to register without saying anything. The few of them could only watch with worry. The registration ended very soon. Although there were over 500 disciples gathered at the training field, less than 50 of them dared to register for the competition. Hun Yuan Hai walked onto the stage again with a bamboo tube in his hand. The registration is done. There are a total of 48 participating disciples in this year's sect competition. Now, the participating disciples, please come onto the stage and draw lots to determine your opponents. As soon as he said that, over 40 people jumped out of the crowd. Everyone walked onto the stage and each drew a bamboo stick. The bamboo sticks were marked with numbers. The people who got the same number would fight in the stage. At that moment, all the participating disciples were standing on the stage. The crowd below began to get excited. They were discussing the disciples who were likely to win the competition and enter the top 10 of the dragon leaderboard. Eh? Who is that guy? You don't look familiar. Suddenly, someone raised a question. Many disciples looked at the man that the person was talking about and their eyes landed on Qin Feng. He really looks unfamiliar. I'm sure he's not a core disciple. I'm also sure he's not an inner sect disciple. Fuck. Could that kid be an outer sect disciple? This guy is really bold. He's just an outer sect disciple and he dares to participate. He's just here to be cannon fodder. Many people's discussion shifted from the core disciples to Qin Feng. However, at that moment, someone said, he's not an outer sect disciple either. I've been an outer sect disciple for 5 years and I've never seen that guy. Then, the crowd began to feel depressed. Where did this kid come from? Could he be a disciple from another sect who came to stir up trouble? Isn't he one of us, a servant disciple? I think his name is Qin Feng. Suddenly, an exclamation came from the crowd. This sentence shocked everyone. Fuck. A servant disciple. Are you kidding me? It's been more than 10 years since a servant disciple dared to participate in the Hunyuan sex competition. This guy is putting his life on the line. After knowing Qin Fang's identity, the entire crowd was in an uproar. The topic of the top 10 disciples on the dragon leaderboard instantly shifted to Qin Feng. The crowd's voice was neither loud nor soft, but it was clearly heard by the participating disciples on the stage. When they found out that there was a servant disciple among them, their faces were full of disdain and playfulness. The 4 elders were shocked by the news, but they quickly came back to their senses. He was just a servant disciple. He was just a clown. The drawing of lots is over. Now, from Lot 1 to Lot 5, the martial arts competition will begin. Hunyuan Hai's voice sounded again, immediately silencing the discussion. This was the largest training field of the Hunyuan sect. It was spacious, and the huge arena could accommodate dozens of people fighting at the same time. Now, it was not a problem to have 5 battles at once. Qin Feng had drawn the number 1 lot, so he stayed in the arena. There were 9 people standing beside him, and they were all disciples of this competition. There were a total of 10 people, and they were quickly divided into 5 groups. Each group stood in a different corner of the arena, far away from each other, so that they would not affect the others' battles at all. At this moment, some people had already started to report their names. I'm Hunyuan sect's inner disciple, Hun Gang. Please enlighten me. I'm Hunyuan sect's inner disciple, Hun Shi. I won't show any mercy when the battle starts. I'm a core disciple, Hun Dan. I don't need to introduce my name. I'm the 4th on the dragon leaderboard in the previous competition. Hunyuan sect servant disciple, Qin Feng. Everyone introduced themselves differently. Some disciples were very low-key and only said their names. There were also arrogant people like Hun Dan, who couldn't wait to say their height, weight, and even the time of their sexual intercourse. However, these were not important. When Qin Feng reported his name, the hundreds of disciples below the stage were instantly in an uproar. There was really a servant disciple among them. Damn, that Qin Feng brat is tired of living, right? Ha! Servant disciple. This kind of person dares to participate in the sect competition? Is he here to be a joke? It's good to be ambitious, but it's a pity that you can't see your own strength clearly. This Qin Feng guy is dead for sure. The crowd discussed ferociously, and all of them were not optimistic about Qin Feng. Su Ruoro and the other 4 women clenched their small hands nervously. The battle had not officially started, but they were already covered in cold sweat. Zhou Tian also shook his head and sighed. He had already advised Qin Feng many times, but Qin Feng did not listen. Huh? You're a servant disciple? Are you kidding me? The man standing in front of Qin Feng smiled lightly. He was originally worried that he could not defeat Qin Feng, but now that he heard Qin Feng's identity, he completely calmed down. That's right, I'm a servant disciple. Is there a problem? Qin Feng did not care about his opponent's mockery. The guy had already reported his name, Han Lei, an outer disciple. Qin Feng also checked Han Lei's realm, and he was only at the 4th stage of immortal qi. Hey! Brat, are you arrogant? In a while, I'll beat you up until you look for your teeth all over the ground. Let's see if you can still be so arrogant. Han Lei said with a playful expression. Qin Feng ignored him and waited for Han Lei to announce the start of the battle. Soon, the clear sound of a gong rang out, signifying that this year's grand competition had officially begun. Senior Hun Dan, please don't fight. I'm willing to withdraw from the competition. As soon as the battle began, a shout came from the stage. The disciple who drew the same number as Han Lei had a bitter expression. How could he be a match for Hun Lei? He could only withdraw from the competition. Chapter 15:21. He's withdrawing just like that. That's too spineless. I heard he's already at stage 5 immortal chi. What a pity, ha. What's there to pity about? What would you do if you went up against Hun Dan, who's ranked 4th on the dragon leaderboard? The crowd discussed among themselves, then shook their heads and sighed. They felt that Hun Dan's luck was too bad. Hun Dan's originally cold and arrogant face was filled with pride. He wished he could fly to the sky. At this time, the other 4 groups of disciples had already started fighting. Qin Feng was the lowest among the 8, but he became the center of attention. The crowd had gathered outside his battle arena, and the sounds of discussion had not stopped since the beginning. Who do you think will win? Fuck. Why are you asking such a retarded question? Why don't you ask everyone how many moves that servant disciple called Qin Feng can take? I bet he'll lose in 1 move. Although Hun Lei is only an outer disciple, he's already at stage 4 immortal chi. How can a servant disciple compare to him? The sounds of discussion could be heard from the arena. Qin Feng acted as if he didn't hear it. Hun Lei smiled playfully at him and shouted, "Stinking brat, did you hear that? Everyone says you can't beat me. Seeing that we're from the same sect, I'll give you a chance to withdraw and admit defeat. Hurry up." Hun Lei rejoiced that his luck was really good. With his strength, he didn't even think about entering the top 10 of the dragon leaderboard. The reason he participated was just to show his face. He didn't expect his first opponent to be a servant disciple. This allowed him to show off in front of everyone. However, the smile on Hun Lei's face suddenly froze. He heard Qin Feng say, "Fine, I'll also give you a chance to withdraw and admit defeat. Choose for yourself." The noisy crowd quietened down. Hundreds of eyes stared at Qin Feng in disbelief. Everyone didn't know where this brat got his confidence from to say such arrogant words. Or was there something wrong with his brain? After a short daze, Hun Lei laughed wildly. "Ha! Do you really think you can scare me? Do you think I'm scared? Watch my fist." Being threatened by a service disciple in front of everyone, Chaotic Thunder flew into a rage and took the initiative to throw a punch at Qin Feng. The air in front of him instantly exploded, and dozens of fist winds whistled through the air. The disciples below the stage were excited, as if they could see the spectacular scene of Qin Feng being sent flying out of the arena. Rumble. The sound of impact rang out as expected, but it was several times louder than what everyone had expected. Following that, his eyeballs and jaws fell to the ground. On the stage, Qin Feng stood with his hands behind his back like a towering mountain, while the chaotic lightning had long since fallen to the ground 100 meters away. The atmosphere suddenly became deathly silent, and it felt like the temperature had dropped below freezing point. From the beginning to the end, no one thought highly of Qin Feng, but the result made everyone's jaws drop. They didn't even see how Qin Feng attacked. All they knew was that after a loud bang, the battle was already over. Where did that kid come from? Even the 4 elders sitting at the side of the arena were alarmed. Chaos Primordial C frowned and said. The other 2 male elders shook their heads. Normally, they wouldn't care about the existence of a janitor disciple. However, Hun Tianjiao's expression changed greatly. She realized that the janitor disciple was Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian's husband. A mere janitor disciple, nothing special. Hun Qigong quickly regained his senses and lost interest in Qin Feng. The other male elder, Elder Hun Bai, also looked away. Chaotic Thunder was only at stage 4 immortal chi. Even if Qin Feng could defeat him in 1 move, it didn't mean anything. Han Tianjiao didn't say anything from beginning to end, nor did she mention that Qin Feng was the husband of her two core disciples. There were still 3 battles going on the stage, but the disciples below the stage were still immersed in the shock of Qin Feng defeating Chaotic Thunder. The 3 battles finally ended. After the first battle, a total of 5 disciples advanced, and Qin Feng was one of them. The sect competition continued. Qin Feng returned to the 5 women and Zhou Tian's side, waiting for the next few battles. At this moment, Zhou Tian's eyes were filled with shock, and he couldn't come back to his senses. Lin Bei and the other 4 women weren't that surprised. They already knew that Chaotic Thunder wasn't Qin Feng's match. However, the following battles were going to be even crueler. This made the 5 women's hearts heavy. Qin Feng, it's still not too late to leave quietly, Su Ruorou said worriedly as she looked at him. Zhao Lingxian also tried to persuade him. I heard that the top 5 disciples on the dragon rankings have all reached stage 7 immortal qi. That Hun Chenkuan at the top might even be at stage 8 immortal qi. The meaning behind Zhao Lingxian's words was very clear, giving Lin Bei and the other 2 a fright. Stage 7 and Stage 8 Immortal Qi. How powerful would that be? Young Master Qin, let's hurry and leave. Xiaozhen doesn't want to see anything happen to young Master Qin. After the women heard about the situation, they were at a loss. Qin Feng didn't expect Hun Chenkuan to have reached Stage 8 Immortal Qi. As for the other Stage 7 Immortal Qi disciples, he didn't care. They were all at Stage 7 Immortal Qi, so Qin Feng wouldn't lose. However, since he was here, Qin Feng wouldn't run away. Even if Hun Chenkuan was at Stage 8 Immortal Qi, Qin Feng still had a way to deal with him. The competition went on for a while, and the first round of battles ended. Of the original 48 disciples, only 20 remained. Among them, 4 groups of opponents were of similar strength, and after both sides were heavily injured, they were all eliminated. A new round of lots was drawn. This time, Qin Feng drew number 3. When he walked onto the stage, Hun Dan, who also drew number 3, walked over to his side. Ha! You're really unlucky to have drawn the same lot as your elder. Let's not waste any more time and just announce our withdrawal. Han Dan didn't even need to fight in the last round, and now he was beside himself with joy. This time, he met the odd job disciple Qin Feng, and he was even more arrogant. The disciples below the stage had already noticed this, and many of them had playful expressions on their faces. I already said that Qin guy was a clown. Now he's hit a nail on the head. I thought that the odd job disciples would surprise us in this year's sect competition, but it seems that I was overthinking. The odd job disciples can't even show their faces. They're just a bunch of servants. Hearing these discussions, Lin Bei and the other girls gritted their teeth in anger. Zhou Tian looked at Qin Feng with a face full of worry, and even prayed that Qin Feng would survive. Although there were 5 battles on the stage, everyone's attention was on Qin Feng. Han Dan stood with his hands behind his back, his face full of arrogance. He was waiting for Qin Feng to announce his withdrawal, but he heard something unexpected. You're the 4th bastard on the dragon leaderboard. The smugness on Hun Dan's face instantly disappeared, and he shouted with a dark expression, You're the bastard, your elder is called Hun Dan. Qin Feng said indifferently, I know, it's just a pain in the ass. Hun Dan, the disciples below the stage were already stunned. They realized that Qin Feng really wasn't afraid of death, and even dared to joke about Hun Dan. You ain't like odd job disciple, you really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Today, let Grandpa teach you a good lesson. Rumble. Hun Dan was furious, and he raised his hand and slammed it down. The loud sound seemed to explode, and a hole appeared where Qin Feng was standing. However, everyone was shocked. Where did Qin Feng run off to? You want to teach me a lesson with this bit of strength? I think you need to train for a few more years. A cold voice sounded, and Qin Feng appeared behind Han Dan like a ghost. He casually threw a punch, and it was as if a muffled thunder exploded from his hand. Han Dan's expression instantly changed, but before he could dodge, his body flew out like a kite with a broken string. Bang! The sound of his landing was not small, and he smashed a small hole in the plains. Han Dan was seriously injured, and he lay in the hole, unable to even stand up. The originally intense fighting stopped, and the other 4 groups of disciples on the stage even forgot to continue fighting. The hundreds of people below the stage were even more dumbfounded, and they all suspected that their eyes were playing tricks on them. The 4 elders stood up at the same time, and their expressions changed unpredictably. It was not strange that Qin Feng had defeated Han Lei with one move, but now, he had defeated Han Dan, who was ranked 4th on the dragon leaderboard, with one punch. This instantly shocked everyone. Han Dan lost. How is this possible? Han Dan is a powerful cultivator who has stepped into the 7th stage of immortal Qi, and that odd job disciple defeated him with one punch. How powerful is that? Is Qin Feng really an odd job disciple? Why don't I believe it? Although the truth had already happened, it was still difficult for everyone to accept. Even Su Ruoro and the other 4 women were dumbfounded. As for Zhou Tian and the other odd job disciples, they were so shocked that they almost fell to the ground. In the corner of the crowd, there were 3 people whose faces were as black as the bottom of a pot. They were Han Chenkuan and his 2 lackeys. The 2 lackeys were dissatisfied when Qin Feng beat them up. Now that they saw how powerful Qin Feng was, they realized that Qin Feng had been lenient. Big brother Chenkuan, where did that brat come from? He actually defeated Han Dan. This guy is too arrogant. I really want to give him a good beating. The 2 lackeys complained incessantly. Han Chenkuan did not expect Qin Feng to be so powerful, but his eyes quickly flashed with disdain. Humph. Han Dan is nothing. He's just an ant who has just stepped into the 7th stage of immortal Qi. If it was me, I would also be able to defeat him with one move. As for that Qin guy, he actually dared to steal the woman I like. If I meet him, it will be the day of his death. Han Chenkuan's words instantly calmed the 2 lackeys down. They hid in the dark and secretly peeked at Qin Feng, their eyes filled with schadenfreude. After Qin Feng defeated Han Dan, he did not even look at him and swaggered off the stage. The mocking and disdainful voices of Qin Feng quieted down, and when Qin Feng walked through the area, the disciples instinctively opened up a golden path for him, as if they were avoiding a demon. Su Ruoro and the other 4 women were already stunned. Even they did not expect Qin Feng to be so powerful. A group of odd job disciples surrounded Qin Feng. Their status in the sect was low, even lower than pigs and dogs. However, Qin Feng became famous after this battle, and it could be said that he had helped the Han Yuan sect's odd job disciples vent their anger. Be big brother Qin. You're so powerful. Zhou Tian's body trembled as he spoke. When he thought about how he had known such a powerful cultivator for over a month and had even called him brother not long ago, Zhou Tian felt like he was dreaming. Bookmark for easier reading. Chapter 1522. Qin Feng didn't put on airs among the handyman disciples. After all, he had lived in the area of the handyman disciples for a period of time and had seen the hard life of everyone. These people were like the poor people at the bottom of the Huaxia secular world, which made people sympathize with them. After the battle with Han Dan, Qin Feng had become a popular figure among the disciples of the Hunyuan sect. No one took him seriously before, but now he could compete for the top 5 on the dragon roll. The second round of competition gradually came to an end. There were only 10 disciples left in this round. These 10 people had obviously entered the dragon role, but they still had to rank because the ranking would affect the cultivation resources that each disciple could get. Han Yuanhai took a bamboo tube and walked to the arena again. Qin Fen and the other 10 people went to the arena to draw lots. This year's Great Sect competition had reached its most intense moment. Just the process of drawing lots had caused the faces of the hundreds of disciples below the stage to turn red with excitement. Mr. Qin, please don't draw Han Chenkuan. If he really gets it, we'll have to drag him along with us no matter what. The 5 women were so anxious that their palms were sweating. At this time, they were discussing countermeasures. Hundreds of handyman disciples widened their eyes, trying to see what number Qin Fen had drawn, but they couldn't see it because they were too far away. The drawing ended quickly. Qin Fen glanced at the bamboo stick in his hand and drew number 10. The other 9 people also looked at their bamboo stick numbers and then looked at Qin Fen at the same time. Not long ago, they were eager to be in the same group as Qin Fen, but now, except for Han Chenkuan, the other 8 people were praying that they wouldn't be in the same group as that monster. The 10 people were divided into 5 groups, and they could fight in the big arena at the same time. Just when everyone was about to find an opponent according to the bamboo stick, Han Chenkuan said to Han Daolong, who was next to him, "You drew the same number as Qin Fen." Han Daolong was shocked. He wasn't afraid of Qin Fen, but this kind of sect competition not only depended on strength, but also luck. If Han Daolong fought with Qin Fen, even if he won, he would consume most of his strength. He would definitely lose the next battle, and he would not be able to be the first on the dragon roll. But at this time, Han Chenkuan continued, "I'll exchange lots with you. I want to teach Qin Fen a lesson." Han Daolong, who was ranked second on the dragon ranking in the previous tournament, had fought with Han Chenkuan and lost to him in the end. This year, his biggest rival was Han Chenkuan. Who would have thought that this person would make such a request? Are you serious? Han Daolong looked at Han Chenkuan suspiciously. He felt that there was something fishy going on. Han Chenkuan said disapprovingly, "I have a grudge against that kid. He's powerful in your eyes, but he's just an ant in my eyes. How can you understand my current realm?" How arrogant was Han Chenkuan? He acted like all disciples beneath him were ants. Han Daolong felt stifled in his heart, but how could he reject such a good deal? "All right, I'll trade with you." The 2 of them secretly swapped the bamboo sticks. Their speed was so fast that none of the disciples below the stage noticed. However, none of the 4 elders who were sitting opposite them stood out to say anything. Qin Fen also saw this scene, but he didn't care. "Now, let's split into groups for the final matches." As soon as Primordial Chaos C finished speaking, the crowd burst into an uproar. This was because everyone saw that Qin Fen and Han Chenkuan were standing together. Han Chenkuan sneered and said in a low voice, "Brat, I told you that you're finished. In this Han Yuan sect, no disciple dares to offend me." Qin Fen looked indifferent as if he was talking to himself. "You could have lived a little longer, but you insisted on swapping sticks with others. Since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish." Han Chenkuan was stunned. He didn't expect Qin Fen to see the scene of him swapping sticks. However, he quickly came to his senses and said, "The ignorant are fearless. I'll let you know that there's always someone better out there." Before the fight started, the 2 of them had already started a verbal battle. However, they both lowered their voices, so no one could hear them. The hundreds of disciples below the stage were already in an uproar. Everyone gathered on Qin Fen and Han Chenkuan's side. As for the other 4 groups, they were completely forgotten. "Big brother Qin, why don't you admit defeat?" Zhou Tian shouted cautiously. Lin Bei Bei and the other 4 girls frowned. They had the same thought, but they didn't say anything. They knew Qin Fen's personality. Even the handyman disciples weren't optimistic about Qin Fen, let alone the outer sect, inner sect, and core disciples. Although Qin Fen had defeated Hun Dan with one move not long ago, Hun Chenkuan could do the same. Hun Chenkuan was the #1 disciple of the Hun Yuan sect and seemed to be invincible. Ha! Did you hear that? No one is optimistic about you. You're just a clown. Hun Chenkuan was very proud of the discussion below the stage. Qin Fen didn't care. Victory or defeat is determined by strength, not by what others say. The smile on Hun Chenkuan's face suddenly froze. He suddenly threw a punch and said, "Brat, then I'll let you see the power of my fist." Boom! There was a loud explosion. Hun Chenkuan's punch came so suddenly that the crowd began to scream. A gust of wind suddenly blew, and his punch changed the environment. It was as if they had fallen into a sea with strong winds and huge waves. Qin Fen's white robe fluttered, and his body turned into a white shadow and suddenly disappeared in the wind. In the next moment, the ground where he was standing exploded, and it was as if a meteor had fallen to the ground. Rumble. The explosion lasted for a long time. Hun Chenkuan's simple punch completely shocked everyone. The disciples who were in a heated discussion were dumbfounded. They were so scared that they couldn't even speak. Even Hun Dalong and the other 7 who were fighting at the side stopped, and some of them cried out. Fuck! Hun Chenkuan has reached Stage 8 Immortal Energy. It's definitely Stage 8 Immortal Energy. Stage 7 can't cause such great damage. No wonder he's so arrogant. He has actually reached Stage 8 Immortal Energy. After Hun Dalong saw through Hun Chenkuan's cultivation, he felt despair. Last year in the sect competition, Hun Chenkuan was only Stage 7 Immortal Energy. Hun Dalong thought that he would be able to fight him this year, but who would have thought that he had already broken through to Stage 8? Although it was only a small realm, the difference in strength was like heaven and earth. That's Stage 8 Immortal Energy. He will soon be qualified to be promoted to the sect's Little Elder. Hun Chenkuan is only in his 30s this year, right? He might be the youngest Little Elder in our Hun Yuan sect. Looks like Hun Chenkuan will be at the top of the Dragon leaderboard this year again. The crowd below the stage gradually woke up, and the sound of discussion was like a surging tide. At this moment, the battle between Qin Feng and Hun Chenkuan had truly begun. Rumble. After dodging Hun Chenkuan's punch, Qin Feng leaped into the air and punched the ground. The sound of thunder and tiger roars rose from the ground, and dozens of sword chi whistled through the air. The power of Qin Feng's punch was also ferocious, forcing Hun Chenkuan to retreat. Brat, you're courting death. Hun Chenkuan was furious. After retreating a few steps, he met Qin Feng's punch with a punch. However, Qin Feng didn't retreat. His figure flew down from the sky like a swallow. Rumble. The two fists collided, and a wave of airflow instantly surged. The loud sound was like muffled thunder landing on the ground. The huge aftershock caused the disciples below the stage to retch. Hun Chenkuan didn't move, but 2 footprints appeared on the stone ground under his feet. Qin Feng's fists collided with Hun Chenkuan's, and he was instantly sent flying, landing on the stone ground more than 10 meters away. Exclamation sounded. The outcome of this most eye-catching battle had been preliminarily determined. Alas! I've long guessed that this would be the result. No matter how powerful Qin Feng is, he can't be a match for Hun Chenkuan. Senior brother Chenkuan is too fierce. May I ask who else can be a match for him besides the elders? After sending Qin Feng flying with a punch, Hun Chenkuan's face was full of pride. He didn't give Qin Feng a chance to catch his breath. His figure leaped into the air, and he suddenly pulled out the big saber on his back and slashed down. Rumble. Suddenly, a white saber light whistled like a long dragon. The disciples below the stage were stunned. This Han Qianquan was aiming at Qin Feng's life. A mere ant dares to be insolent in front of me. Hurry up and reincarnate. As the saber fell, Han Qianquan laughed and roared. However, the smile on his face suddenly froze. The saber split the martial arts field in two, but Qin Feng's figure was nowhere to be seen. Swish! A subtle wind whistled past. Qin Feng stepped on his flying sword and came behind Han Qianquan. Han Qianquan's reaction was also swift. He quickly turned around and slashed, but he still didn't hit Qin Feng. You have a flying sword. Who the hell are you? Han Qianquan's expression changed drastically. Even with his current status in the Han Yuan sect, he didn't have a flying sword. Seeing Qin Feng hovering in the air on a flying sword, the crowd below the stage exclaimed. Even the four elders who were sitting as stable as mountains stood up and stared at Qin Feng in the air with scorching eyes. They thought to themselves, this kid actually has a flying sword. Moreover, it's an extremely high-quality pink flying sword. A mere flying sword can shock you like this. You're too inexperienced. Qin Feng's expression was indifferent. Han Qianquan was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Even in the divine continent, flying swords weren't common. Most of them existed in the hands of sect leaders and elders. As for disciples, only 4-star or 5-star sects had the ability to get their hands on a flying sword. Han Qianquan's eyes lit up. He turned the back of his saber and leaped into the air. Very well, this flying sword is mine. Rumble. As soon as the flying sword appeared, Han Qianquan seemed to have become a different person. He no longer held back his strength. The wind brought about by his saber was obviously several times stronger, as if it was going to blow away the house. The pink light flickered in the air. Qin Feng stepped on the flying sword and quickly retreated. After fighting for a while, Qin Feng realized how powerful Han Qianquan was. Although he had the ability to escape from Han Qianquan, it wasn't easy to kill him. The two of them chased after each other. Wherever Qin Feng went, the stone surface would be filled with holes from the explosions. Their fight was so violent that the other 8 disciples had stopped fighting and left the entire stage to Qin Feng and Han Qianquan. The flying sword was too fast. After chasing for a while, Han Qianquan lost his patience and roared at the sky, surnamed Qin, are you afraid of me? Why do you only dare to run? Chapter 1523. Qin Feng wasn't afraid of Han Qianquan. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone up to the stage to fight him. He was purposely wasting Han Qianquan's time. Seeing that Han Qianquan's mind was in a mess, he had achieved his goal. Swoosh! A pink light flashed in the air. Qin Feng, who was escaping, suddenly changed direction and shot toward Han Qianquan like a meteor. Qin Feng's action was too sudden. Han Qianquan was so shocked that he stopped chasing. But at this moment, a golden light flashed. A several 100-meter-long saber light descended from the sky like a surging golden dragon. Rumble. Qin Feng, who had stepped into stage 7 immortal energy, used this golden phoenix slash. Its power was many times stronger than before. The sky was covered by the saber light, and a deafening sound rang out. Han Qianquan looked up at the sky, his brows tightly knitted together. He didn't have time to think and hurriedly slashed out with his saber. A white light flashed and collided with the golden light coming from the sky. Violent saber energy shot out in all directions, forcing the spectating disciples to retreat 100 meters. Qin Feng leaped away as soon as his saber landed. This saber was fierce and fast, catching Hun Chinkuan off guard and sending him flying to the ground. The noisy training field suddenly quietened down. The atmosphere was extremely strange. Not long ago, they were talking about how Qin Fan couldn't withstand a single blow from Hun Chinkuan. Not long after, Hun Chinkuan was sent flying by Qin Fan. Are my eyes playing tricks on me? The person on the ground is senior brother Chinkuan. Crazy, crazy. When did a ferocious person like Qin Fan appear among the odd job disciples? This is too terrifying. Qin Fan is clearly at stage 7 immortal energy, but he can fight against Hun Chinkuan, who is at stage 8. This is really interesting. Even one of the elders, Hun Qigong, was amazed and muttered to himself. Elder Hun Bai nodded. This Qin Fan kid is not bad. With more training, his future is limitless. Hun Yuanhai's face turned pale when he heard the two of them. Hun Chinkuan was his proudest disciple. He still hoped that Hun Chinkuan could be the top of this year's Dragon Leaderboard. How could he let Qin Fan have the upper hand? As for Hun Tianzhao, she didn't say anything, but she was more and more shocked. Back then, she had not taken a fancy to Qin Fan and was even unwilling to accept him as a servant disciple of the Hunyuan sect. However, now that he had witnessed Qin Fan's strength, Hun Tianzhao felt as if he had been slapped in the face. The cheers that originally belonged to Hun Chinkuan were transferred to Qin Fan, and Hun Chinkuan immediately gritted his teeth in anger. That slash did not seriously injure him. He leaped and instantly shot towards Qin Feng, who was in midair. Brat, don't be too cocky. I haven't even displayed my true strength yet. Hun Chinkuan waved his hand and the long saber in his hand slashed down from above his head. Primordial Chaos 7 Sabers, First Style, Cloud Slash. Rumble. As his long saber descended, dark clouds gathered in the sky. However, those were not real clouds, but saber clouds condensed from saber chi. Everyone below the stage looked up, their eyes filled with shock. Is this the supreme secret manual of the Hunyuan sect, the Hunyuan 7 Sabers? He's too powerful. It said that only the core disciples of the sect are qualified to impart the mixed origin 7 sabers. However, this saber technique is profound and difficult to understand. Even if it's imparted, one might not be able to learn it. It all depends on one's comprehension. The mixed origin 7 sabers is divided into 7 levels. Big Brother Chinkuan is only using the first move, but it's already so powerful. It's hard to imagine what the 7th move will be like. Don't even think about it. Even our sect leader probably hasn't mastered the 7th move. As soon as the mixed origin 7 sabers appeared, the 4 elders all stood up. Qin Fan looked at the dense saber clouds above his head, his expression solemn. This was not the first time he had come into contact with the mixed origin 7 sabers. More than a month ago, when he killed Hun Zhen on the Celestial Fox Mountain, that guy had used the first move, Cloud Slash. However, Hun Zhen was only at the 6th stage of Immortal Qi, so the Cloud Slash he used was not even half as powerful as Hun Chinkuan. Break! Qin Fan did not dare to delay and hurriedly raised his saber and slashed at the void. Suddenly, a golden saber light that was hundreds of meters long rose into the sky like a long dragon, dispersing the saber clouds above Qin Fan's head. However, a moment later, a new saber cloud condensed. Rumble. The saber cloud above Qin Fan's head was getting closer and closer, producing a series of muffled thunderous sounds. However, Qin Fan did not retreat. Suddenly, he flew up into the sky, and when he was halfway, he clenched his hand in the void. His action made the crowd somewhat confused. However, in the next moment, a fiery red spear appeared in Qin Fan's hand. The spear shook, and thousands of red rays shot out like flying arrows, piercing countless cracks in the saber cloud in the sky. Rumble. The loud explosions did not stop. The light of the sun penetrated the saber cloud, and it was a strange sight. Seeing that the saber cloud was about to dissipate, Han Chenkuan's expression turned cold, and the long saber in his hand fell again. Qin, you want to compete with me in terms of inner qi. You are far from it. Swish. As soon as the saber fell, the clouds in the sky condensed again, and in a short while, it became a scene of dark clouds covering the sun. Qin Fan casually stabbed with his spear a few times, but he found that the saber cloud condensed this time was hard and thick, and he could not penetrate it. Arrow! Seeing that the saber cloud was about to land, Qin Fan shouted. Suddenly, a holy white light fell from the sky, and Qin Fan grabbed it in his hand. Before everyone could see the appearance of the cloud-piercing arrow, the white light flashed and shot straight into the sky. Rumble! It seemed like a simple arrow, but it set off an earth-shattering battle. The clouds in the void were blasted into a large crack, as if the sky had been torn apart. Arrow! This was just the beginning, and Qin Fan's second arrow had already been shot. It seemed that in an instant the clouds exploded again, scattering into countless small cloud spots. The battle between the two was extremely intense and wonderful, causing the crowd to scream and start to move. Han Chenkuan was shocked by Qin Fan's strength. His Cloud Slash, the first move of the primordial Chaos 7 sabers, had long been practiced to the point of perfection. Even if he was fighting against an enemy of the same realm, he could kill his opponent. But now, facing Qin Fan, who was a realm lower than him, he was actually broken by his opponent. Qin Fan, I want to see how long you can last. Han Chenkuan was furious, and he ignored the saber cloud above his head. With a flip of his hand, he slashed down again. The second move of the primordial Chaos 7 sabers, Sea of Fire. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. As the saber fell, the weather changed. A powerful saber chi surged out, but the saber chi suddenly turned into hundreds of flames in the air, as if it was going to set the prairie ablaze. The crowd was excited again. The second move of the primordial Chaos 7 sabers? Senior brother Chenkuan has actually practiced the second move. The saber chi turned into a sea of fire, burning everything it went to. This primordial Chaos 7 sabers is too powerful. That Qin kid is dead this time. He can't escape the power of the sea of fire. The power of the second move shocked the audience. More than half of the 500 or 600 people present saw the second move of the primordial Chaos 7 sabers for the first time. Zhou Tian and the other handyman disciples were so scared that they almost knelt down. Lin Bei Bei and the other 4 girls wanted to rush into the arena to help Qin Fan fight. Just as the saber chi and sea of fire enveloped Qin Fan, another loud sound exploded in the arena. Whoosh! The weather changed, and a violent snowstorm suddenly appeared in the arena. The snowstorm enveloped the saber chi and sea of fire. These two extreme elements were engaged in a fierce battle. However, the result was very obvious. The moment the saber chi touched the snowstorm, it disappeared. The sudden situation caused the crowd to exclaim again. Han Chenkuan was stunned on the spot, and he couldn't come back to his senses. His second move, the Sea of Fire, was so fierce, but it was blocked by Qin Fan. The saber chi and Sea of Fire had completely disappeared, but the snowstorm was still fierce. Qin Fan's cold voice came out of the snowstorm. Don't tell me that's all you can do. If that's the case, I'll be very disappointed. Qin Fan's words shocked the crowd. That was Han Chenkuan, the #1 disciple in the primordial sect. Usually, no one dared to recruit him, but now Qin Fan, as a handyman disciple, had slapped him in the face again and again. Han Chenkuan's emotions fluctuated violently, and he had a ferocious look on his face. He roared and swung his saber. The aura on his body seemed to have skyrocketed several times. The third move of the primordial chaos 7 sabers, Ice Heaven. Before the saber fell, everyone's screams were like a surging tide. The primordial chaos 7 sabers was the treasure of the primordial sect. There were a total of 7 moves, and each move was extremely powerful. However, there were very few people who could practice the third move. Among the disciples, only Hun Chinkuan had practiced it to this level. Whoosh! The long saber fell to the ground. This saber technique caused the sky to change. The surging saber chi condensed into ice thorns, as if people had fallen into a world of ice and snow. The ice thorns had already shot towards Qin Fen, but they were blocked by the snowstorm around him. Qin Fen's snowstorm was caused by thousand-year-old ice crystals. How could the ice condensed by Hun Chinkuan's aura compare to it? How could this be? Even senior brother Chinkuan's third move was blocked. The snowstorm released by Qin Fen is very special. I feel like I'll be frozen to death if I get a little closer. This kid is extraordinary and unusual. The disciples below the stage were shocked again. The 4 elders sitting opposite the stage had already stood up. Hun Chinkuan's saber failed, so he was more or less nervous. However, he still had the illusion of swinging his saber a second time, condensing the ice thorns in the air like rain. Since you use the ice blade, I'll use the sea of fire to deal with you. Qin Fen's cold voice came out of the snowstorm, as if it was the call of death from hell. When he opened his eyes, 2 flames shot out. The raging snowstorm around him disappeared and was shrouded by the sea of fire. When the ice that Hun Chinkuan struck touched the purple cloud immortal fire, it had already melted completely. Rumble. The immortal fire was unstoppable and burned all the way to Hun Chinkuan. His black robe was immediately burned, and even his hair was on fire. Hun Chinkuan screamed in the fire and suddenly turned into a black shadow and rushed into the sky. When he appeared again, he slashed at Qin Fen again. Qin, if I don't kill you today, I'm not a human. Fourth move of the mixed essence 7 sabers, thunder collapse. Crackle. As soon as he roared, there was a burst of thunder. The crowd below the stage was dumbfounded. Dark clouds intertwined in the void above their heads, and dozens of intertwined lightning bolts were striking the ground. The fourth move. Senior brother Chinkuan has practiced the fourth move. This is heavenly thunder. Should we run for our lives? If we get hit, we'll be dead. Chapter 15:24. Someone realized something was wrong. Soon, most people realized it. Hun Chinkuan's fourth move, collapsing thunder, was clearly not as powerful as the real one. However, this weakened version of collapsing thunder was enough to shock everyone. Big brother Yuan Hai, you've really taken in a good disciple. He's only 35 and he's already grasped the key to collapsing thunder. If you continue to nurture him, he'll be famous in the entire North Sand region. Hun Qigong looked at Hun Chinkuan with burning eyes. He sighed inwardly. Why wasn't this person his disciple? Elder Hun Bai was also fascinated. He couldn't help but say, once collapsing thunder is used, those below level 9 are like ants. Though Chinkuan's attack isn't powerful enough, Qin Feng is only at level 7. He's bound to die. Hun Yuanhai grinned widely at the praise of the 2 elders. Hun Tianjiao stood at the side coldly and didn't say anything. Oh, that Qin Feng kid is at level 7, but he's only a servant disciple. That's really strange. Hun Qigong changed the topic. Elder Hun Bai's eyes twinkled as he stared at Qin Feng and said, why don't we let this fight end here and count it as Hun Chinkuan's victory? As for Qin Feng, I plan to take him as my disciple. The four elders felt that if they continued, Qin Feng would definitely die from collapsing thunder. Elder Han Bai saw Qin Feng's potential and stood up for him to keep him alive. If Qin Feng was killed, why would he take in a disciple? Han Qigong also had the idea of taking Qin Feng in. He'd wanted to talk to Qin Feng alone after the fight, but Elder Han Bai suggested the same thing. Now, Han Qigong was a little worried. Ha! Elder Han Bai, you already have many core disciples. Will you be able to handle all of them? I think you should just give Qin Feng to me. Don't burden you too much. Han Qigong said it like it was true. Elder Han Bai cursed inwardly, but he couldn't openly offend him. Stop arguing. There's no rule of stopping halfway in the sect competition. This fight has to go on. Han Yuanhai suddenly said coldly. Elder Han Bai and Han Qigong cursed in their hearts. How could they not see through Han Yuanhai's intentions? If this battle didn't stop, Qin Feng would definitely die. At that time, how could they accept a disciple? The reason why Han Yuanhai did this was to protect his number one disciple, Han Chenkuan, as well as his position as the Great Elder. Elder Yuanhai, if you don't stop the fight, Qin Feng will definitely die. Such an outstanding disciple had fallen just like that. This is a loss to the entire Hunyuan sect. Han Qigong was still a little unwilling and wanted to fight for it. Elder Han Bai also added, we agree that Qin Feng should just lose this round. Why must he continue to fight and kill someone? Primordial Chaos C had his own selfish motives. Now that he was being questioned by the other two elders, he more or less felt a little guilty. Humph. This rule was personally set by the Clear Sky sect leader. The battle could not be stopped midway. Furthermore, it's common for deaths and injuries to occur during the intersect tournament. You shouldn't be held responsible for pursuing disciples. If you're not satisfied, you can look for the sect leader of the Clear Sky. Han Yuanhai directly brought up the sect leader, so Elder Han Bai and Han Qigong could only remain silent. At this moment, the battle on the arena was at its most intense moment. Qin Feng couldn't fight back under the thunder crash and could only flee on his flying sword. How could Han Chenkuan give Qin Feng a chance to survive? He kept waving the long saber in his hand. As he waved, the sky was filled with thunder and it felt like the end of the world was coming. Rumble. A bolt of lightning exploded under Qin Feng's feet, and the violent airflow sent him flying to the ground. Han Chenkuan was instantly overjoyed and quickly chased after him with his saber. As soon as the figure leaped into the air, he slashed towards the ground. Crackle. This saber instantly condensed into a bolt of lightning, as if it was going to blast Qin Feng into pieces in the next moment. The crowd was already exclaiming incessantly. Was this exciting battle of supremes going to completely end? Master, quickly use the hunting pincer to deal with him. Little Pig's anxious voice was heard. Actually, there was no need for it to remind him. Qin Feng had already activated his thoughts, and the earthworm-sized hunting pincer leaped out. Lightning flickered above his head, and the hunting pincer was now competing with the lightning in speed. However, it turned into a white shadow and disappeared in a flash. Even Qin Feng couldn't see it clearly. What the hell? Get out here. Han Chenkuan, whose saber was about to slash at his waist, suddenly roared angrily. This strange action confused everyone. His surging saber energy quickly dissipated, and even the lightning in the sky dimmed. This sudden turn of events shocked the four Hunyuan Sea elders. The four of them looked dumbfoundedly at Han Chenkuan, who was roaring and jumping around on the arena. They even wondered if this guy had a sudden onset of epilepsy. You dare to devour my Dantian? What the hell are you? Han Chenkuan didn't have time to pay attention to everyone's strange gazes. At this moment, he was so scared that he was sweating profusely. The thing that leaped into his body was actually eating his Dantian's chi. How terrifying was this? Master, Hun Chenkuan's realm is too high. The hunting pincer is about to be forced out. Little Pig shouted. Qin Feng forcefully supported his body, and when he leaped up, he swung his saber. Suddenly, the sky flashed with golden light. The hundreds of meters-long saber energy fell to the ground like a long dragon, scaring Hun Chenkuan into hurriedly retreating. Stinking brat, did you trick me? No matter how stupid Hun Chenkuan was, he could guess the relationship. The thing that leaped into his body was most likely Qin Feng's doing. However, Hun Chenkuan felt even more tormented at this moment. On one hand, he tried his best to force the hunting pincer out, and on the other hand, he had to resist Qin Feng's attack. In the end, he couldn't care about either side. Qin Feng knew that this was the most critical moment. The golden phoenix in his hand continued to fall. The golden light flickered and fluctuated, immediately exploding the stone floor on the arena into an intricate spider web. Hun Chenkuan resisted for a moment, but in a moment of absent-mindedness, he was hit by the saber. The surging saber energy exploded around him, directly blasting him dozens of meters into the air. Swish! With a flash of pink light, Qin Feng seemed to be in midair in an instant. The golden phoenix in his hand was replaced by a long spear. The body of the spear was fiery red, revealing a spiritual aura. However, before Qin Feng could attack with the spear, a roar came from the elder seats. Qin Feng wins this battle. The battle is over now. It was Hun Yuanhai who shouted. He had long been stunned by the change in the situation. Originally, everyone thought that Qin Feng would die under the thunder crash, but they didn't expect Hun Chenkuan to suddenly go crazy. Now, if this battle continued, Hun Chenkuan would be the one to die. A gloating smile flashed in the eyes of Hun Qigong and Hun Bai. The two of them tried to persuade Hun Chenkuan to stop the battle, but Hun Yuanhai refused. Unexpectedly, he stood up and wanted to end the battle. When the disciples were shocked by Hun Yuanhai's actions, they saw light suddenly radiate in midair. Thousands of red spear lights flew toward Hun Chenkuan like sharp arrows, and it felt like thousands of arrows were piercing his heart. The air froze at this moment. No one would have thought that Qin Feng actually wanted to kill Hun Chenkuan. Just how daring was this person? How dare you? Hun Yuanhai roared anxiously, but halfway through his roar, there was an explosion in midair. Hun Chenkuan's body bloomed like fireworks, splattering flesh and blood all over the ground. Thud! The spear fell, and Qin Feng landed steadily on the ground. His white robe was stained with a lot of dust, and his hair was also messed up by the strong wind. However, his indifferent and proud expression and aura made all the disciples revere him from the bottom of their hearts. Eldest senior brother Chenkuan is dead. That servant disciple can actually kill Hun Chenkuan. The world has changed. I'm afraid the Hunyuan sect is going to change. Hun Chenkuan's death caused a commotion among the crowd. He was the #1 disciple of the Hunyuan sect and the favorite disciple of Hun Yuanhai's grand elder. However, Qin Feng killed him in public without hesitation. Didn't that mean that he had offended Hun Yuanhai's grand elder? Swish! For a moment, hundreds of pairs of eyes fell on Hun Yuanhai. At this moment, Hun Yuanhai's black robe was fluttering without wind. His face was ferocious, and the gray hair on the top of his head stood up. Brat, how dare you kill my beloved disciple? I'm going to tear you into pieces, boom. Hun Yuanhai was furious and suddenly slapped with his palm. He was originally hundreds of meters away from Qin Feng, but he seemed to be in front of Qin Feng in a breath's time. The palm wind was so strong that Qin Feng couldn't breathe. He didn't even have the ability to escape, let alone fight with Hun Yuan Hai. Qin Feng couldn't see through the old man's realm, but he guessed that he had at least stepped into the peak of Stage 9 Immortal Qi realm. Bang! There was a loud explosion. Everyone thought that Qin Feng would be killed by Hun Yuan Hai's palm, but they saw another black figure standing on the arena and blocking Hun Yuan Hai's palm wind with a punch. Hun Qigong, what are you doing? Hun Yuan Hai roared angrily, and his nose was crooked. Hun Qigong took 2 steps back, marveling at Hun Yuan Hai's current strength. Although the two seemed to be evenly matched on the surface, Hun Qigong's aura was tumbling and chaotic, and he was obviously at a disadvantage. Grand Elder Yuan Hai, what are you doing? Hun Qigong pretended to be calm and questioned. Do I need you to care what I do? If you don't move aside, don't blame me for being impolite, Hun Yuan Hai roared. Seeing that the 2 elders were about to fight, the disciples below the arena were scared out of their wits. At this time, Elder Hun Bai also jumped onto the arena and stood on Hun Qigong's side. Elder Yuan Hai, Qin Feng did kill Hun Chenkuan, but according to the rules of the sect tournament, it's common for deaths and injuries to occur during fights, and disciples can't be held responsible. This is what you told us just now. Don't tell me you've forgotten it. Hun Yuan Hai choked and couldn't say anything for a long time. He stared coldly at Elder Hun Bai and Hun Qigong, not daring to attack rashly. Although he wasn't afraid of anyone in a one-on-one fight, he was still lacking in a one-on-two fight. Humph. This brat deliberately wanted to kill my beloved disciple, Chenkuan. I already stopped him, but he ignored me. What's the use of keeping such an unruly disciple? Hun Yuan Hai finally found something to talk about. Chapter 1525. As soon as Qin Fen finished speaking, the entire crowd was in an uproar. Everyone looked at Qin Fen in disbelief, thinking that this person was too fierce. He actually dared to speak to Hun Yuan Hai's great elder in an interrogative tone. Even Hun Qigong and Elder Hun Bai were stunned. As for Hun Yuan Hai, his face was already livid with anger. Did you see that? What's the point of nurturing such an arrogant disciple who has no respect for his elders? Even if we really nurture him, he may not stay in our Hun Yuan sect in the future. Hun Yuan Hai's immortal qi surged. He was determined to kill Qin Fen. Elder Hun Bai and Hun Qigong wanted to retreat. They also felt that Qin Fen was too arrogant. Such a disciple was not easy to nurture. You want me to respect you? The premise is that you have something worthy of my respect, but why can't I find it? Facing a great elder, Qin Fen did not give him any face. This was because when he was almost killed by Hun Chenkuan's thunder, he heard Hun Yuan Hai insisting on continuing the fight. Hun Yuan Hai was completely enraged and shouted at Hun Qigong and Hun Bai, "If you two don't leave, don't blame me for falling out with you." The two looked embarrassed, but they finally jumped off the ring. Although they saw Qin Fen's potential, they were also a little unhappy with this kid's unruly behavior. Only Qin Fen and Primordial Sea were left in the arena. How could Primordial Sea still take Qin Fen seriously? Suddenly, a gust of wind surged from his body. Just as he was about to strike with his palm, he saw another black shadow land on the arena. Elder Hun Yuan, wait. This guy can't be killed. Hun Yuan Hai retracted his move angrily, glared at the person on the ring and shouted, "Hun Tianjiao, why are you meddling?" Looking at Hun Tianjiao standing on the big ring, the crowd was surprised. No one expected that this female elder would stand up to help Qin Fen. Qin Fen was stunned, not understanding Hun Tianjiao's thoughts. However, Hun Tianjiao said indifferently, "Qin Fen is my core disciple, so I have to come forward and meddle in this matter." Hun Tianjiao's words caused a burst of exclamations. Everyone thought that Qin Fen was just a handyman disciple. Who would have thought that he would become a core disciple? Han Yuanhai was shocked and said involuntarily, "Are you kidding? Qin Feng is just a servant disciple of the Hunyuan sect. When did he become your disciple?" Han Tianjiao's expression didn't change. He didn't seem to be lying at all. "Over a month ago, I represented the Hunyuan sect in recruiting disciples at Scarlet Street Market. At that time, I accepted Su Ruoro, Zhao Lingxian, and Qin Feng as core disciples. Everyone who went with me knew about this, so why would I lie?" Primordial Chaos C stared coldly at Primordial Chaos with a ferocious expression. If Qin Feng was just an odd-job disciple, Primordial Chaos C wouldn't even bother killing him. However, if Qin Feng was a core disciple of the Hunyuan sect, even the great elder of the Hunyuan C would not dare to lay a finger on him. Furthermore, Primordial Chaos C was experienced and astute. He could tell at a glance that Primordial Chaos was lying. However, he couldn't expose this lie, because the team that went to Red Street Market to recruit disciples were all under Prodigy Hun. Those people would naturally speak up for Prodigy Hun. "Are you sure you want to protect that kid?" After confronting for a long time, Han Yuanhai gnashed his teeth and glared at Han Tianjiao. Han Tianjiao pretended to be indifferent. "Since Qin Feng is my core disciple, I naturally won't watch you kill him. Furthermore, core disciples are the backbone of the Hunyuan sect. They are the targets that the sect leader of the Clear Sky ordered to focus on nurturing. If you kill Qin Feng today, I believe that the sect leader of the Clear Sky will not let you off easily." Among the four elders, Primordial Chaos C was the strongest. Primordial Chaos C admitted that he was no match for Primordial Chaos C, but he immediately suppressed Primordial Chaos C when he mentioned the sect leader of the Clear Sky. "Good, good, good." Primordial Chaos C said the word "good" 3 times in a row. He glared at Qin Feng and Primordial Chaos C and continued, "There's still a long way to go. Let's wait and see." Primordial Chaos C swung his sleeves and left angrily. After he left, the disciples below the stage heaved a long sigh of relief, and the huge oppressive atmosphere gradually eased. Primordial Chaos C helped Qin Feng this time, but the two of them did not communicate at all. At this moment, Primordial Chaos C had already walked down the stage and returned to the elders' seats. Elder Hun Bai and Hun Qigong were depressed. They had fought for Qin Feng for a long time, but in the end, Qin Feng became Primordial Chaos C's disciple, the farce was over, and the sect competition continued. The remaining 8 disciples had already finished their battles, and in the end, 4 people advanced. These 4 people and Qin Feng made a total of 5 people, and the 5 of them had to compete for the top 3 places on the dragon roll. After Primordial Chaos C left, Primordial Chaos C was in charge of drawing lots. One of the 5 people would draw a blank lot, and the person who drew a blank lot would advance directly without fighting. When Qin Feng came up to draw lots, Primordial Chaos C's palm moved, and a bamboo lot automatically appeared. This action did not escape the eyes of Elder Hun Bai and Hun Qigong, but they both pretended not to see it. Unsurprisingly, Qin Feng drew a blank lot. But he was not stupid enough to think that Primordial Chaos C was really helping him. This old woman was sinister and cunning, and she was completely thinking of her own interests. Qin Feng almost did not participate in the following battles. He waited until it was time for the top of the dragon roll, and then walked up the stage. His opponent was Hun Dalong, who was ranked 2nd on the previous dragon roll. As soon as Hun Dalong got on the stage, he said loudly, "I automatically forfeit this battle. Big brother Qin Feng is powerful, and I admit that I'm no match for him." His words caused the crowd to boil. Everyone was still thinking that there would be another exciting battle to feast their eyes on, but they did not expect Hun Dalong to directly forfeit. After hearing the news, Elder Hun Bai shook his head and sighed. Hun Dalong was his proudest disciple, and he still hoped that Hun Daolong could win the top of this year's dragon roll. But soon, Elder Hun Bai calmed down. He knew very well that Hun Daolong was no match for Qin Fen, and even if he fought, he would definitely lose. When Hun Daolong walked down the stage, he let out a long sigh of relief. After seeing Qin Fen's power, the disciples of Primordial Chaos sect did not even have the courage to look at him. This person killed Hun Qinquan in front of the great elder of Primordial Chaos Sea. How arrogant was that? Hun Daolong did not want to follow in Hun Qinquan's footsteps. The sect competition of Primordial Chaos sect had completely ended, and the top 10 disciples on the dragon roll had almost no change. However, the number 1 position was out of everyone's expectations. Qin Fen stood alone on the spacious stage, like a god of war that had descended to the mortal world. Many disciples had already rushed up to celebrate, and Su Ruoro and the other girls were the most excited. Before, they were worried to death. Hun Changbai and Hun Qigong shook their heads and sighed as they left. A sneaky smile flashed across Hun Tianjiao's icy face. Just as Qin Fen had guessed, Hun Tianjiao did not really want to help him, and even hated him. But now that Qin Fen had won, Hun Tianjiao's status among the elders had also risen, and he could even get a generous reward of resources. This was what she needed. Big brother Qin, you're too amazing. You're now the number 1 disciple of Primordial Chaos sect. Zhou Tian's excited voice trembled. He still felt like he was dreaming. Su Ruoro and the other girls had already surrounded Qin Fen, and they were cheering like 5 little birds. As for the outer and inner disciples, they only dared to stand slightly further away. Previously, they had mocked Qin Fen in all sorts of ways, and now they were afraid that Qin Fen would take revenge. After a while, Hun Tianjiao walked over, and the crowd immediately made way for him. Qin Fen, come with me. We're going to get the reward for being first on the dragon leaderboard. Hun Tianjiao revealed her foxtail. Qin Fen did not say much and left with her. Su Ruoro and the other girls also followed. Hun Tianjiao knew their relationship with Qin Fen, so he did not stop them. They came to the sect's resource storage pavilion, and as soon as they entered, they could feel the extremely dense spirit chi floating around. Elder Tianjiao, congratulations. We just received news that this year's sect competition is won by your disciple. There were many disciples guarding the resource pavilion. Qin Fen casually glanced at a few of them, and they were all at stage 8 immortal chi. As for the old man who was talking to Hun Tianjiao, his realm was even higher, and Qin Fen could not even see through him. Hun Tianjiao did not put on airs in front of the old man, and smiled. Elder Tian is too polite. This is my disciple Qin Fen. The old man called Elder Tian looked at Qin Fen, and his eyes were as clear as water, making Qin Fen feel a bit pressured. Hee. Not bad, not bad. You're at stage 7 immortal chi at such a young age. With more nurturing, you'll definitely become someone great. After seeing through Qin Fen's realm, Elder Tian was more or less confused. Wasn't Hun Qinquan at stage 8 immortal chi? Could it be that he could not beat this brat in front of him? However, Elder Tian did not ask too much. His duty was to be in charge of the resource pavilion's safety, and other matters had nothing to do with him. The rewards for being first on the dragon leaderboard exceeded Qin Fen's expectations. The rewards were abnormally generous. From medicinal pills and secret manuals to spiritual weapons and spirit stones. Not only did Qin Fen receive generous rewards, but as his master, Hun Tianjiao also received many cultivation resources. This was the main reason why she helped Qin Fen earlier. After receiving their cultivation resources, they left the resource pavilion. As soon as they left, Hun Tianjiao said coldly, Qin Fen, as long as you give me all the resources you received, I can immediately help you complete the procedures to become a core disciple. Qin Fen knew that this old woman was up to no good, but he was no match for Han Tianzhao, so he pretended to say, "Okay, as long as you let me become a core disciple first, I'll give you all my resources." The 5 women were very unhappy with Han Tianzhao's actions, especially Su Ruoro and Zhao Lingxian. The 2 of them had followed Han Tianzhao for a month, and they had a bit of a master-disciple relationship. They did not think that Han Tianzhao would burn the bridge after crossing it. Han Tianzhao ignored the 5 women's expressions. Seeing that Qin Fen had agreed, a hint of pride flashed in her eyes. "Don't worry, a core disciple spot is nothing to me. Plus, now that you've offended the immemorial sea, if you want to stay in the immemorial sect peacefully, you'll have to listen to my orders." Bookmark for easier reading. You're tuning into the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.